But I feel good. I feel tired. This is the old, you're complaining of being at Cowboys Training Camp in California all week. I'm not tired of doing the work that we're doing out here. I mean, we do a radio show and then have a lot of freedom to decide how we want the rest of the day to look. However, the timing of it, the waking up at 2:00 and, that routine, it wears on you, man.
It's brutal.
It's hard to adjust. It's hard enough to adjust to the 3:30 wake-up call at home, but an hour and a half earlier, and we're actually, I mean, if we went by our normal routine, we'd be here even earlier.
Oh, yeah.
We're shorting ourselves a little on the preparation time, and a lot of that is because we have interviews and stuff like that we'll be able to do that we can prep for the day before. But, that's wearing me down. Other than that, no problem. I miss my own bed.
Don't we all? The sad thing is once you finally start feeling almost like there's a routine, you head home. I mean, after day 5, you're kind of like, my alarm is necessary, but I'm getting up. Last night was a chill night, so it made it a little bit easier to get up. We brought everybody over for the annual steak night, though. Not a lot of attendees, although it's been kind of a skinny press corps anyway down here. But I had a good steak. We ate well.
Damn good steak.
I'm sure there's enough socials floating around for those that follow to see those things. Excellent. I had a lamb chop.
Yeah.
Delicious. Outstanding.
Good.
I'm a convert. I'm not like I was opposed. I just never
wasn't something you'd go for.
But no, outstanding. We had a good night, and I think a good day is headed this way. I think this whole complex needs a good day.
There were the 5 of us who have lived in the house all week. There was only one other attendee at steak night, but I was the odd man out because I was the only one who went with just good old-fashioned salt and pepper seasoning. There was I went downstairs and I saw all these steaks that I had picked out.
I didn't have any control. I wouldn't have done the I enjoyed it. I did like what he put on it, but I wouldn't have rubbed mine that way.
They put barbecue rub on a bone-in ribeye.
Yeah. It's meat church, though. I mean, it's made for that. But that wouldn't have been my choice, but I did enjoy the flavor.
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't. When I walked in, I saw them all rubbed and yours not. I thought,
well, I'm glad you rescued mine.
Well, no, he wasn't going to touch yours.
Okay.
I think he had actually asked if I would. He said, "Do you want me to season yours?" I said, "Yeah." But again, it's not something I would have done. But if I'd have been someplace and ordered a steak and they'd have brought it out like that, I was perfectly happy.
I mean, nobody complained about
that. No, it was good meat, and it's meat church. It's holy cow. It's made for that. It's pretty good.
Is it made for that?
I think it is. There's a lot of pepper in that particular version. And enough garlic to go. Now they're like, holy cow. I mean, what's the pig? There's another couple that are like universal, not just for pig, that has, you can't have any sugar when you're dealing with steak.
Of course.
None. And so that one I think is probably the most appropriate, but even then, not something I'd have done. But again, you like a little bit of that flavor.
Well, I'm a simple man.
You are.
I'm a simple man.
AJ, you're a simple man. You're once or few.
You guys are quite complex, and traveling with your own barbecue seasonings
and thermometer. You got to respect that. A dude that travels with his seasonings and his thermometer.
That was Minix's thermometer?
Yeah. Wow. Respect, man. Thank God.
I mean, listen, I told you, I said, hey, if in doubt, just pull mine off fire.
If it's still a little bleedy, that's fine.
You ain't going to offend me. I'm never going to send back my steak and go, this is underdone.
Well, the thing is, it was a great cut of meat, so it didn't need a whole lot,
Well, let's get into that because Minix had a place that he found on the interwebs. It had 5 stars. The reviews said 5 stars.
Was it Meat Market or Carnicera?
It said Meat Market.
Okay.
But it was I went inside it. It is a carniceria.
Was there just like pizza meat hanging in
the
but no beef?
No, that's not true.
Oh, there was beef.
There was skirt steak for fajitas.
Oh.
And if you wanted beef, you could get it, but it was pounded down and tenderized, and It wasn't
a third world kind of thing.
It was not.
It wasn't like flies on the meat and they're
no.
just hanging, laying.
Look, if I were looking to make some carne asada, it's not a place that I would turn away from.
Gotcha. But not a steak place.
But it wasn't what we were expecting. So I said, well, let's just go to Whole Foods.
Which is probably the best option because, Vaughn's and Ralph's, they have meat, but it's like every box store, the best you're going to get is what I prime, maybe if you're lucky.
And I said, dude, the one thing Whole Foods has is good quality butcher shop. And so
let me ask you a question as we're talking steaks. Corn-fed, grass-fed?
I mean, grass has a little bit of a unique flavor to me, but I don't care.
Yeah, you don't.
It doesn't bother me one way or the other.
Grass-fed, you have to tell me it's coming.
Okay.
You know what? I don't want to bite into grass-fed and not know.
Yeah. You want some hormones in your cow.
Basically. I want one that was throbbing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One's to do something.
Well, we get to Whole Foods, and Minix has only been to a Whole Foods once in his life, apparently. And
that statement alone is worth savoring. Okay.
It really is. And I mean, first of all, he's like, well, I don't really do grocery shopping, period. He's like, I go to Tri-County Meat Market, and that's about it.
His wife's a saint.
Yeah.
She really is.
But he went once before, and he was it was like a kid who was seeing things for the first time. He was like, oh, wow, they have this in every Whole Foods? And I was like, not everyone, but most of them, like the hot food bar.
Well,
and, there's just some hot food, and he's like, wow, you could just go in here and make yourself a meal, and that's that. And I was like, well, yeah. We got the mushroom.
And they were delicious.
Got some mushrooms off that hot bar, and then we got home, and I re-sauteed them. But, and of course, Minix wasn't going to eat mushrooms because that's a vegetable to Minix.
And it's brown. You'd think he'd enjoy it.
You'd think. But yeah, there were many times where I was like, wow.
Well, the thing about Whole Foods, I enjoy a good Whole Foods visit now and again, but my God, it is truly a pretentious store.
If you only shop at Whole Foods, if that's the only place you go for your grocery needs, that's a bit odd.
It is. I mean, you're living a different life than I am.
But there are specialty items that I would much prefer to go to Whole Foods for.
But I'm part of the cult. I can't leave HEB. If I start shopping at another place, the HEB cops will come and find me.
Now, I'm not against HEB, and HEB is where I do my primary shopping. But I would say maybe 5 to 10% of the items, and it was more than that when I lived in Vegas because there isn't an HEB.
Yeah,
and the Whole Foods is very close to my house, and it's like there's some in Houston. There was a Whole Foods. Literally, the Whole Foods did a wise thing when I was there. They put bars in every Whole Foods.
What?
Yeah, like with a dozen taps, and they also. It did a wise thing and didn't hire people who knew anything about bartending. Now, these were beer and wine bars, not
right.
booze. So they would just have their regular old Whole Foods employees manning these bars. And on Tuesdays, they would have $2 Tuesday, where you could get a pint of any beer for $2. And they would also get these specialty beers. Like one of the beers.
Was this in Vegas or
no? This is in Houston.
So they opened a bar inside of the supermarket,
inside the Whole Foods. Yeah,
I didn't know you could serve the alcohol inside.
Sure,
I didn't know that.
Sure, if you get the proper licensing,
everything can be bought, I guess.
And most of them still have. I mean, the one we were at yesterday has a bar. So most Whole Foods still have bars.
I have to get into a Whole Foods. Yeah. Do they do it for I know HEB for a moment. That in San Antonio, there's one off of Broadway that for a minute was known as the best pickup place in the city. Like that was where you go if you were single and looking for somebody that was of.
I don't know about that.
You would go there for lunch and maybe that idea.
None of that. Oh. Not that I know of.
It wasn't a gathering spot. It was just
if it is. If I was being eyed out by strange men, I never knew it.
Well, I was not gay.
Oh, I thought. Well,
no, I'm talking. We call it the Gucci Bee. It's the HEB on Broadway, right downtown, and it was the first to have this hot, like you're talking about, and it became a place to go and meet, like a singles place, like a lunch. Go there and I don't know.
Well, the good news for me is I'm not single and I'm also not handsome, so I never have to worry about strangers like eyeing me up.
I didn't mean to divert you. Getting back to the Whole Foods, I had no idea that it was there.
So this place has, they would get specialty beers, including like there's a stout called Bourbon County that comes out once a year on Black Friday from a brewery called Goose Island. And
I've had Goose Island.
It's a delightful barrel aged stout, and it comes in around 16 to 18% some years.
So, and these thinner too.
These bartenders were unaware that
of the quality.
It should only be served in a snifter, like a small pour, and they would give you a full pint for $2. And my brother and I would go over there and drink about 5 each.
So you wouldn't
and
tell the good folks of Whole Foods
you think I'm
were serving improper doses?
Do you think it's my job to explain to Jeff Bezos,
a beer snob, that you would go, sir?
No,
properly served, would be in a curved out glass so that I may enhance the flavor and the aroma of the oak and the. And that's like you just give it to me in a bucket.
I'm not one to tell Jeff Bezos how to run his business.
Does he own Whole Foods?
Yeah, Amazon owns Whole Foods.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So if that's how he decides to do things, that's on him, bub. That's not my problem.
I'm for sticking it to Bezos at every turn.
Yeah. So if it's going to be
bring it in a bucket,
an $18 beer, I'll drink it for $2. That ain't my problem.
That actually is about as dumb as you could. Can you imagine? You're the beer guy, like our beer costs are through the roof.
Yeah. Well, trust me, that particular location no longer has a bar.
Yeah.
So
we're losing our ass.
They lost their ass. Yeah. They're not good at that. But it's not my job to tell them again. Jeff Bezos, quite the entrepreneur. What do I know about running a business that he doesn't? It is our final day out here at Cowboys Training Camp, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. We got a hell of a little show for you planned today. We're going to talk some Hall of Fame game. We're going to hear from Shotty. We're going to hear from Zimmy. Since we call him Shotty, I might as well say Zimmy, too.
That means Hoffman should be Schottenheimer.
Schottenheimer. We'll also hear from Micah Parsons, and the belief of AJ and Rob is that Deuce Vaughn will join us today.
There's a rumor running around
in the 8:00 hour. So lots of stuff to get into. We'll do that. We'll have some fun. We'll have some frivolity and some good news for a guy who needed some good news to come his way. We'll talk about that. It is the morning huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1. What's that? Will Dallas' Dak Prescott get his new contract for his birthday during training camp in Oxnard? We're there, and if he does, you'll hear about it first. San Antonio Sports Star's coverage of Dallas Cowboys Training Camp, sponsored by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Live all week from Oxnard, California. Continues all week. South Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Can a president not have sex with a porn star?
Clinton did it. No one had a problem with Clinton doing it.
Or Kennedy, or...
No one had problems with them doing it, right?
It's definitely an ingredient that was injected from the other side. What's the guy's name? The evil guy from Hungary, super rich.
Dracula?
No.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust new Febreze car vent clips, now with 3 times greater scent control, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with new Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing, which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar!
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
3 bands, 1 stadium. Journey, Def Leppard, the Steve Miller Band. 3 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame icons. Their biggest hits. Friday, August 16th, Alamo Dome. Tickets on sale now at DefLeppardJourney2024.com.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone, group chat, smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust new Febreze car vent clips, now with 3 times greater scent control, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with new Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing, which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar!
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime! It is showtime here on the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Twas a good day for Raj Goodell as... Well, first of all, football got underway yesterday.
Oh, that is rather important. Kind of, but we didn't get a finish.
No.
My bet got kicked back.
We got we did what we call edging. We got right to the brink of finishing, and then...
That's an interesting term.
Stopped.
Yes.
Stopped, and didn't restart.
No, unfortunately.
No. Yeah, and you can thank the rain for that.
That was good for everybody. Let's just call it.
You know, yeah, except for when you pull up. If I'm a Texans fan, I'm a little frustrated when I wake up and I see on the front page of ESPN that Bears win, rain shortened game. It's like, well, wait a minute, buddy.
Well, yeah,
we didn't finish that game.
So until about noon, you can be salty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's carry on.
No, but me as a person, I don't care. Right?
Yeah, it was. Only people have a right to be mad with those that might have bet the over. You know? I mean,
yeah.
Which I hadn't, but it doesn't matter.
But you know what? Well, the over hit anyway. This is good news.
Yeah, I bet I'm happy. I got a win out of this because I lost.
If you bet the under, I think your bet gets refunded.
Well, I got mine kicked.
Oh, you bump back to, and you would bet the under?
I bet the under,
and you got it refunded.
Yeah.
See, that's a good thing. Because I was telling myself, man, I would have liked to bet the under. But when it started, and then I was like, quickly, I said, oh, this would have been a bad bet by me.
Anyway.
But the brain was your best friend.
It was. I'm not upset, but honestly, I was not awake to see the end of the game. And
the end of the game never happened.
So I didn't know that it didn't end. So I woke up this morning thinking the worst and got a little kick.
The good news, though, for Raj, the really good news is a federal judge on Thursday took a look at that $4.7 billion verdict on the Sunday ticket deal and said, yep, this is garbage. Throw it out. So
he threw it out on the premise that the jury was given improper instructions on how to come to not only the verdict, but the dollar amount that was due.
Yeah.
So this was a grand slam win for the NFL.
To the point where now they went from maybe having to pay $4.7 billion to perhaps having to pay zero.
Yes, this was a grand slam. But let's also go by this. Good day for Roger Goodell. Good day for the NFL. Bad day for Jerry. Because Jerry was using this as an excuse. Jerry was saying, hey, I'm more than anybody else out there in the world of the NFL.
I understand the finances.
$4.7 billion. Somebody had to be writing that check. And now that check does not need to be written. So what does Jerry use as an excuse now for not going and signing his dues? Because that was kind of felt like his last little firewall that no one could retort. I mean, when you say that, like, I need to put some money in my bank account because I might owe $4.7 billion. On that other end, though, that was never, ever going to be enforced. Or no way the NFL was ever going to be on the hook for $4.7 billion. It just wasn't. It wouldn't happen. And if it did happen, the way that money would be dispersed would be in a way that the NFL itself would never write a check. Ever. It would be free this, reduce that, and there would be an end write-off. But there was no way that the NFL would be on the hook for that money. None.
Well, on the Jerry front, it could mean that maybe it wasn't an excuse, Rob.
Well, let's hope.
Maybe it was real and he was worried, and now he's got one less thing to worry about.
I want to believe that that's true. And if that is, in fact, the logic, there should be some good news around here because I'll say it again, man. This has been such a strange camp. It's not a depressed camp, but it seems like a camp that's just kind of waiting for the next thing to happen. Good or bad, we don't know. We're guardedly optimistic that wide receiver will be signed, quarterback will remain happy, even if not signed, and head coach will be fully actuated, although he's standing at the edge of a cliff. We're hoping it all works out.
We are. So
this is good news. Jerry's got some money.
Good news for Jerry. Bad news for me. I was expecting a check.
Oh, I don't think you're going to get a check, but I think we're all going to benefit by this. So that we were all going to get something free out of this.
I thought for sure at least a couple hundo was coming my way.
You think the NFL is ever going to write you a check? In your deepest, darkest belief system, you think the NFL would ever be put in a position where it would write checks to fans? You think that would ever happen?
Maybe I foolishly did.
You know, there's that old saying about too big to fail. That is indeed the case here.
I just wanted a couple hundo.
I know it's the little things.
I'm not trying to make them fail. I just wanted them to know that I felt pain.
Shafted.
I didn't really feel any pain. I didn't
even know there's a problem.
I was just like, oh yeah, I'll pay for DirecTV. They've got it. I'll pay for it. That's the way my brain works.
Well, it really wasn't about us. It was about bar owners, and exclusivity, and all that. They were going to give those dudes a break.
But I was supposed to get a break too.
I know.
And now I don't. Fair. Well, are you going to cover that couple hundo?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
So
I'm here to help. I want to ease you into the future.
Yeah, you don't want me to be upset, so I appreciate that.
Happy talent is good talent.
So yeah, this is good news for especially the NFL owners.
So,
and now the plaintiffs can appeal again, by the way.
They're going to go back at it. There's no reason to stop. But there has now been guardrails put on both sides of the street. It's not going to get crazy.
It's not. The chances are good. It's the final settlement number will fall somewhere between $4.7 billion and $0. I don't think it will be $0. And I don't think it will be 4.7.
Remember when the NFL lost to that original football league and they had to write a check for $100?
Yeah.
Remember, they lost, but they had to write a check for $100. This is kind of where we're headed. You're going to lose, but it ain't going to be a painful loss.
That's all I'm asking for, $100.
You know what? Let's write a strongly written letter
with Roger. I want Roger Goodell's signature at the bottom
with capitalization and lots of exclamation points.
And I don't want a stamp. I want it hand signed. Hand signed
to the order of A.J. Hoffman.
Like that's back in the day.
Rip. Next,
when you'd find autographs from baseball players, people didn't get baseballs autographed. They got if you wanted to have a signature from Joe DiMaggio or Babe Ruth, going back even further, usually it was on a check. He'd write a $3 check to someone, and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm going to keep this instead of turning it into the bank. I'm going to keep this. I'll lose out on the $3, but I've got Babe Ruth's autograph now." And now when you go to buy autographs, often it's a signature from a check.
You know what, AJ? I was this year's old before I knew that, and I had seen that so many times, and I always thought, what an odd thing to find. Why are these dudes writing these $2 checks? I had no idea.
Yeah. That's what
makes sense.
That's why people held on to those things. So it's
that's the importance of we need to bring checks back.
It'd be lovely to have that $3.
See, kids, there used to be these pieces of paper that were actually kind of like money.
Yeah, and
you could write them even though you didn't have money.
And it's almost like credit cards,
kinda.
Except the ramifications for not having money were more immediate if you didn't, with checks.
Back then, if you weren't broke, you had a little bit of money, had a little float.
Yeah.
Had a little float, a little time. You bought yourself 24 to 36 hours.
Then they figured out that there's a machine you can run the checks on the spot. And then it was that ruined it for people.
In the early 90s, I had a business partner of mine. We started a company and we had the headquarters in this little West Texas town because he had done the math and he realized that mail took 2 days longer to get to this little West Texas town than anywhere else. So it allowed us just a little bit of float.
Good for you. Good for you. Game in the system.
That's like Pony Express kind of stuff in this day.
Game in the system. I wonder what that guy does now.
He's an attorney and lived a very
very financially secure, I bet.
Far more than me.
You know what? He figured it out.
He did.
Figured it out.
The code in the
Game the system. All right, let's take a break. We'll talk about that Hall of Fame game and the new kickoff rules on the other side. Some Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, it is Friday here in Oxnard. Another day of Cowboys Training Camp.
Back to a full practice today. We will have a player on the show. That is still TBD. We get to talk about, bad preseason football, but it was football last night.
Yay.
How did the Houston Texans look?
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Before you fire up that grill, make sure you get into Tri-County Meat Market. Hi, Jason Minix here. Tri-County Meat Market has everything you need. If you're thinking steaks, you want some chicken, some poppers, beef ribs, pork ribs, brisket, picanha, tri-tip. They've got it all at Tri-County Meat Market. Take advantage of their Pick 5 for $25, and Tri-County always offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Heebner, or online at tricountymeat.com.
The granddaddy of all hunting shows is back. The 2024 Hunters Extravaganza. August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Fun for the whole family. Check out our hunting seminars, the latest in hunting equipment, last season's best bucks in our annual deer contest, and for the little hunters, games, live alligators, snakes, and more. August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. For details and tickets, go to huntersextravaganza.com.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Nigel, why are you wearing a backpack?
I'm going back to school.
Folks, when your AC decides to flunk out or your home's plumbing is stuck in detention, you don't have to worry. At Quarter Moon Plumbing, AC, and Heating, our technicians are certified with all the latest technology and can fix any plumbing or AC issue fast and at a fair price because you deserve A+ service.
Gotta go, Joel. We're studying paper mache. I might have to pull an all-nighter.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. 210-651-5899. License number TACLA 885-898-M16004.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Hard work is the foundation of the job site. Boot Barn Work and Carhartt are committed to supporting the hard workers that keep our nation moving. Boot Barn Work proudly offers a broad selection of Carhartt workwear and boots, known for durability and quality since 1889. When the work is relentless, Carhartt is trusted to finish the job. With so much on the line, there's no room for cutting corners. Carhartt at Boot Barn Work.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news. Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free. With zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Let's go!
Hi, it's Jason Minix. You're listening to the home of the Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
There was a football match last night, in a way, between the Texans and the Bears. The result didn't much matter. Caleb Williams wasn't playing. C.J. Stroud wasn't playing.
Did you get there was a camera shot at one point where they had aimed in at CJ on the sidelines, and obviously he had the earpiece in. And I can get, you're probably, if you're the coach, you want him. If I was the coach, I'd almost have him calling plays. I would. I'd like to see what he thinks.
Well, he wasn't invested in the game at all. He was listening to music.
Well, that's what I was curious. But they panned down on him, and he's standing on the sidelines, and you could see his mouth moving as he was mouthing the plays, and it looked like you ever played the game Crazy Person or on the phone.
Yep.
It looked like he was standing in the corner, kind of talking to himself. But it was interesting to see. I was wondering, is he calling the plays? Because I thought that would be interesting if he was, but it didn't turn out well for the Texans at the end of the day.
Well, sure it did.
Well, they got to push.
Yeah.
Okay. The takeaway was, of course, the kickoff, but also did you notice the uniform? I liked the uniform.
I like the uniform. It's a little Falcons-y
and a little dark. The blue's almost black, but I like the layout.
I dig it. I think it's a good look for the Texans.
All right, kickoff.
I don't know. Before we get to the kickoff, I don't know what the rules are about communication in the preseason. Like I don't know if it's as strict as
I don't know.
But maybe they're allowed to have multiple voices going at once.
I couldn't tell if he was actually talking or just mouthing the play. I couldn't tell what his connection was, but he was kind of staring off into space. And as they talk about him, and he just kind of, you could tell he wasn't focused on anything with his eyes, and he was just talking. He looked like he might have been crazy.
I think he was singing along to the new Eminem record.
He had some Meek Mill going.
Yeah,
just
I think, yeah, something like that. The NFL kickoff rules were put to the test, though. And I still personally don't know how I feel about him.
It's weird, but fun.
Joe Reinagel last night was in our house, and he was like, I think there's going to be an exciting play. And I said, well, I don't know.
I think it could be.
I'll say this. Yesterday, there were 8 kickoffs. One of those kickoffs resulted in a touchback. 2 other kickoffs reached the end zone and could have been down for touchbacks, but the receiving team decided, I'm going to go for it. The receiving team takes over if it's at its own 30 after a touchback now. Of the 7 kickoffs returned, the average starting position was the 25.6 yard line,
which was the goal.
The longest return was a 31-yarder. Both teams had one illegal formation penalty called.
We're going to see a lot of that.
Both were declined. And the Texans punter, remember the rule where now you can occasionally have a 12th man on the field, much to the chagrin of Aggie.
Yeah, you can't have that trademark, by the way.
Not anymore. It
can be bought. Don't get me wrong.
No, I think they're going to take it away from Aggie now because sometimes you actually do have to have 12 men on the football field
which
now.
Is weird.
But
so we watched that dude sprint off.
Yeah, Tommy Townsend, the punter for the Texans, holds the ball. They kick it, and as soon as it's kicked, instead of, which I've always thought this was the way you should do it if you're a kicker or punter anyway, is get your ass out of the way before you get hurt.
Run off the field.
But Tommy Townsend holds the kickoff for Kaimi Fairbairn and then just jet lines to the sideline like he was scared to get hit, which was very funny.
We're going to have a punter pull a hammy. in the 20-yard sprint.
But I still don't have a good feel for if this is going to work, if this is going to make the play more exciting, if this is good for player safety. Quite honestly, it just looks weird to me. It looks weird. Everyone's standing still
and waiting.
Yeah, like, okay, say when. Say when. Say when.
Did you ever play
Go.
Pop 45 as a kid? There was a game when we played where you punted the ball up high and everybody was waiting, and the play really didn't start. You had to tackle the guy until you caught the ball. So everybody kind of waited, and it felt like that as they blow the whistle, the kick, and we still don't have a beginning. I will say this. What it has eliminated is the second layer of defense. That's obvious. That 10-yard stretch, you can't shift your defense to load heavy on one side of the field. Now, you still can kick to where you want it to go.
Sure.
So it looks like because there's no second layer of defense that a special teams guy is going to engineer, you just need a quick hitter, and like a downhill Denver Broncos pulling guard kind of quick hitter, a dude that can scoot and make one hole real quick. I do think there's a potential for not extravagant and, lots of kickoff returns, but I do think there's a potential for more kickoff return touchdowns than there used to be. But I think the NFL got exactly what they're chasing. Ball at the 25, very little contact, and a little bit of drama. Are you running it out, or are you going to stay back there? Just a little bit. I think there's an opportunity here.
Maybe so. I don't have a good feel for it yet after one game. Maybe by the time the season starts, I won't think it's as weird. Right now,
it's going to be weird for a year.
Right now, it just looks like some sort of made-up little kid football thing.
And it didn't help that it was in a football stadium that looked like it had been manufactured to to broadcast a football game, and then they're playing these weird rules. It felt contrived a little bit.
We've got audio from Schottenheimer, as well as Mike Zimmer, as well as Micah Parsons that we'll get into a little later in the program. We've got we got to hear from Dak yesterday, and Dak
was he surly?
Was Dak surly? I don't know that surly is the word.
Okay.
But Dak seems like he keeps, it seems like every time he talks now, he admits to the fact that, well, there's always the possibility I will play for some other random football team. And that was a big topic of debate at the
as it always is,
the Sports Star house out here.
I want to talk about my son's indoctrination into the sports talk and media world.
We'll do that next. It is the Morning Huddle on here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and the Gomez Law Firm present the first annual back-to-school drive this Saturday from noon till 2 p.m. while supplies last at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Free backpacks and school supplies for all school-aged children, only while supplies last, so don't be late. This Saturday from noon to 2 p.m. at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Presented by the Gomez Law Firm and in part by ProStar Home Care Services, Sonora Bank, Las Palapas, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
School is almost here, and if there's two things I can count on, it's my kids needing new outfits because they grow like weeds, and Cole stocking their favorite styles. With the back-to-school customer appreciation event going on, I scored 30% off tees, jeans, sneakers, and more when I shopped with a Kohl's card. No card? No problem. Rewards members save 20%, and everyone else saves 15%, plus earn Kohl's cash. When it comes to back to school, you gotta go back to Kohl's. Select styles, some exclusions apply. Offer ends August 11th. See store or Kohls.com for details.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter. Locally and globally. bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America NA.
This is the famous footwear that makes us actually want to go back to school. With the newest styles from all your favorite brands like Nike, Adidas, Crocs, Converse, New Balance, Birkenstock, and more. You'll find everything kids want, all at prices parents can appreciate. Because you don't have to overspend to make it famous. Famous Footwear even has fit experts in store to make sure you get the right size every time. So for the perfect fit, make it famous. Plus, right now, buy one, get one half off when you shop your local Famous Footwear or famous.com. Some exclusions apply.
The American Cowboy is everything that makes this country great.
There's a freedom to being a cowboy.
Being a cowgirl is not a safe, easy path, but it's one that's very rewarding.
The American cowgirl is dedicated to her livestock, she's dedicated to her country, and she's dedicated to her family.
The American cowboy is honest.
We're the backbone of how this country was founded.
There's a whole lot of legacy that goes along with being a cowboy, and I'm honored to be a part of it.
Boot Barn, keep west.
Over the past decade, the Roof Hub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those three massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roof Hub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roof Hub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roof.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
If you're looking for a new couch, you could cut down on expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Because you know you've had this couch for too long. Sure, you've had good times together, but a ripped-up cushion is not a fond memory. It's a sign. Notice how other people have couches with 2 armrests? Now that's living, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renters and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new couch. Please, it's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
Hear that? Want to elevate your game day experience? Head on over to 49 Cigars at the Village of Stone Oak and Suite 101 and enjoy a selection of premium cigars and lively atmosphere perfect for cheering on your favorite team. Visit 49 Cigars today. 49cigars.com.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Bill Belichick is joining Inside the NFL for the upcoming season. I guess he's tired of babysitting, so he needs to get out of the house on occasion. Now, anybody that's upset with Bill Belichick because he's dating a 2-year-old, I mean...
She's not 2.
Oh, she
is legal.
Hey, I applaud it.
You're just jealous.
No, I'm not jealous.
You sound jealous.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Live from Oxnard, California, Cowboys Training Camp. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. I like to say it like that. Southern Recipe Small Batch.
I declare, these are some fine pork rinds.
Some fine pig, swine, and
some
skins.
swine and brandy for the men.
That's right. And they've done a lovely thing for us, sending us out here to Cowboys Training Camp, and we will be eternally grateful to them for that.
Good folks. And they fed us while we were here.
That's right. And for making good pork rinds and having someone to call if you ever end up in jail, which luckily for us, no one's out here has gone to jail.
It really fits the demo, as we say in the business.
You never know when you might end up in jail, and especially when you're on the road. Luckily, none of us have. And luckily, your son's indoctrination into the world of the Sports Star has not led any one of us to jail or him.
So far, so good, although neighbors might have gotten upset. But it's typical. It happens every year. Last night, steak night is a traditional time for all the writers and the media types to kind of gather together and get away from here and have a steak, drink some good wine and beer, whatever, and argue, which can be absolutely mind-numbingly boring. It is not involved. I mean, my God, can we argue the same stuff that we talk about on air? Have more than bread in your life. You know what I mean? And last night, of course, the Dak debate was heavy. And it's always Joe and it's always Clarence Hill from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. It's like clockwork every year. Well, we cue the argument and go.
And I mean, it was loud.
It gets kind of stompy and a little surly. I mean, it's always friendly, but
it was like Shannon and Skip. And like every once in a while, Joe would have to say, I'm just talking, and Clarence would be like, hey, no offense, I'm not mad. We're just having a talk.
And my son's just like, my God, can you both you just shut up?
But it's like
just stop it.
It's a loud, angry sports talk show with no microphones around.
And if you're not interested, you have to be interested because there's no way to get around the volume.
And I'm so mad at myself about this because I was the first one to retire to my
you can't escape it, man.
When I said I'm going to go to bed, that's when Clarence was like, well, I guess that's my cue. I'll head out. I was like, wow. Because trust me, even though it was early, I thought about going to bed earlier because I just didn't want to hear them argue about the Cowboys anymore.
I know. But that's my son was the same way. Like, my God, can we find something else?
But you know what? What you can't question is the passion.
And that is indeed why guys like us do what we do, because that passion remains.
Well, some of us. I'm to be quite honest, I'm not passionate about the Cowboys one way or the other. I look at the Cowboys as part of my job. Like
for me, and born into it, it's more. Yeah. It's far more. It's a we thing, other than a them.
Yeah, my mood, my attitude, my outlook on life doesn't change if the Cowboys are 0-17 or 17-0.
I wish I had that.
But boy, Joe and Clarence both have very, very, very strong feelings about Dak and CeeDee Lamb and
that the crux there. And Clarence is very much a realist. He believes that the CeeDee Lamb is imminent. Like, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And of course, we all know it's going to happen. It's just how it's going to happen. And he believes that they're very close. They're switching back offers, and it's really down to the nitpicky. We know where the money is. How are you going to give it to me? That's my thoughts. The way he was talking. His thoughts on Dak, I think, represent a lot of us. That this is, Jerry's offer. He's not going to pay him $60 million. He's just not going to do it. The offer's out there. Dak knows it's out there, and
he's not going to pay him. He's not going to pay him $60 million right now.
Yeah, right. No, he's just not going to write that check until you prove it. Now we can dance around the idea that he doesn't want to have a prove it idea, but that's what it is. And Dak knows it. It's not an angry thing. And if he does go out and prove it, or he doesn't, he's going to make $60 million next year, no matter what. Or I say 60, a number, whatever that number he has in mind, he's going to get it, whether Jerry or not.
Somebody. And
there's that sense of it's not dread. I don't want to. It's not a bad thing. I think around the Cowboy. There's a feeling around here. I don't know how to describe it. That they're just something is going to happen. Whether it's good or bad, I don't think anybody knows.
It's a little bit like yesterday. This is such an old man take by me, by the way. It's a little like yesterday's weather. It's not raining, but it feels like there's something in the air that says it's either about to rain or it's going to feel really weird the whole time the day's going on, because it's going to feel like it just might rain. I know that sounds silly, but that's how it feels with all of these contracts. It's either like it's about to happen, or it's going to keep just hovering over us and not happening, and we're going to feel it.
Right.
We're going to feel the awkwardness of the fact that it's not happening the entirety of the time that we're out here at camp, because that's it. There is a cloud over Oxnard, not a real one, but it
does feel that way, and I'm glad you sense it too. A perfect example of that was yesterday. All of the media, we were expecting Jerry to hit the car wash, and by the car wash I mean it was his day to come and talk to all the media, and that was just flat out canceled. He was around here.
My day would have been absolutely ruined had I scheduled it all around being here for when Jerry was here, because there was a big discussion about whether or not we should be there when Jerry is or not. And to be totally upfront about things, I was prioritizing sleep over Jerry.
Well, we knew it was covered. I mean, but with the other guys, I was too.
I mean, Rob and I both were working on an hour of sleep. So I was like, oh, whatever, but we'll come back, after Jerry or whatever. And it ended up not happening. I was like, oh my God, I would have been so pissed had I lost 1 minute of sleep over Jerry Jones not showing up. All right, next hour we're gonna hit some of this sound from the coordinators. We'll hear from Mike Parsons, and we'll discuss the Dak words. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's the land of the free and the home of student drivers ready to back into your new fence at any given time. It's firing up a round of burgers and dogs on your rusty grill with a faulty gas line that engulfs your tool shed in flames. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Come to Generations Federal Credit Union and drive away with a great competitive rate on your auto loan. We make auto loans simple, with no payments for up to 90 days, easy applications, and fast local decisions. Apply online or in person at Generations Federal Credit Union. Member owned. Community grown. Rates and terms subject to approval and may change without notice. Interest will continue to accrue during the payment deferral period. Full terms and conditions at mygenfcu.org/auto. Federally insured by NCUA.
George gets justice. If you've been injured, get George, because George gets justice. With over 100 years of combined experience and a relentless dedication to your case, the attorneys at George Salinas Injury Lawyers will fight for what's right. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, get George and get the compensation you deserve. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagle for my friends at Stevens Roofing, your local roofer. You know, summer is here, and that means long, hot days for everyone and everything, including your roof. Our hot Texas sun pounding down can degrade and age your roof. So for residential or commercial service, you need a reliable roofer you can trust and afford. That's Stevens Roofing. Online at stevensroofing.net or call them at 210-785-0994. That's 210-785-0994 for Stevens Roofing.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. From high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone, including blackjack tournaments. From the owners of the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, the Big Blind is locally owned and operated, offering daily cash games to daily, weekly. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 and Redland Road.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. You know, I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. You know, basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go. So I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partnered with Beacon. With their unique Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through September 15th, purchase GAF through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
94.1 FM.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the wake of the Sam Williams injury, the Dallas Cowboys are signing free agent defensive ends Al-Qadim Mohammed, formerly of the Saints, Bears, and Colts, and former Commanders defensive end Shaka Toney, former teammate of Micah Parsons at Penn State. NFL preseason kicked off last night with the Hall of Fame game. Texans fell to the Bears 21-17. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, San Antonio, Texas. It is your old pals,
It's AJ, it's Rob, it's the Morning Huddle. It's 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Live on a Friday. Friday. Got to get down on Friday. And we're getting down in Oxnard, California, home of Cowboys Training Camp. We're here courtesy of AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds.
AJ, I'm a big step guy.
Yeah.
People who know me, steps regulate my life. Let's just mark the tape that at 5:01 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'm at 3,000 steps by 5 a.m.
Now, that's probably close to where I am. I'm not a big steps guy, but I do have a blister on my second toe.
You have a monitor of your own.
And
I feel so bad for you, man. Because of the hikes, people don't realize that we have to hike like 2 miles just to get to where we are.
This was it was a poor choice made by me on shoe wear.
Those are good kicks. I don't understand.
They're just not broken in yet. It's the new shoe thing. I had a pair of tennis shoes that I was wearing pretty much. They were my most comfy tennis shoes. They were absolutely what I would call dad shoes. They were no frills. They were like $75 a pair of Nikes. Like, not the fancy Nikes, not Nike Airs.
The Academy Nikes.
These were like, they weren't
bad shoes, by the way.
No, buying shoes at Academy is harder for me than buying shoes at Foot Locker. But generally, you probably could get these at Academy. I went to my mom's and got her Jeep got stuck in the mud when we were there. And I had to march through a swamp, and these shoes got, just sunk in the mud. I came home and I tried to wash them myself, tried to save them, and I got them clean. But now there's like
insole and all that.
There's like a curvature to them that's and they're probably ruined. So I bet maybe I could wear them and they would be no big deal, but I could feel it the first couple times. So I went and bought these new shoes, and that's the shoes that I chose to bring out here. That might have been my mistake. I also brought a pair of boots, but that's not going to help at this point. That's not going to be better. But I'm going to have to wear boots tomorrow on the airplane.
You're an infantry dude, man. You know how to address foot issues.
Well, in the infantry, they teach you about blisters on your feet.
Is that a full day class or
it's a half day class? Yeah. And their way to prevent blisters carry more. At the time, I used to carry around a gigantic backpack, and about half of it was filled with socks, and the other half was filled with like Vienna sausage and ramen. But they would tell you if it's somewhere between your skin color and red, it'll be all right.
Eventually.
Yeah, it's going to hurt, but you can tough it out. If it starts to get colors that are more unnatural, you need to go see
where
the
are we
medic.
on the scale here? Are we all right?
I mean, it's like a dark pink.
Okay, so we're not turning green or anything.
No, there's no green or purple. There's no yellow. There's no. It's not bubbling.
To your credit, you haven't bitched about it 1 minute. I brought it up, not you. And I'm just surprised we haven't treated it. I mean, we do drive by drugstores. We get bandages and all kinds. They have stuff.
And what I want to do is air it out. I get to do that at night. But I'm sharing a house with 4 other gentlemen.
So here you are. I would have thought that wouldn't even have been a consideration for you, AJ. And I appreciate the thought that you would think that we would care if you had socks on or not. But we don't. I don't give a crap.
Maybe it's me being the new guy. And maybe next year when I'm less of the new guy, I won't be worried about it. But I just try. Everybody's got different sensitivities.
I'm going to speak for the rest of the house. If you wanted to air those dogs out, feel free. You're at home there.
Okay.
And you treat us like fam.
Everyone's got different sensitivities.
I got terrible feet.
I know. But see, my feet aren't disgusting.
I have awful feet.
Mine aren't, but I just never know what people are going to feel like. Now, Joe Reinagel said, Joe and I are sharing a bathroom. And Joe said, hey, don't make a mess of this bathroom. Mind you, I'm not a young guy. I'm in my. I'm this year. I'll be actually. We're in August now. This month, I'll be 44. So I'll be officially in my mid 40s. which
salad days, baby.
When I started radio at age 24, I would have said, "Oh my God, that's an old person." So
Your
I'm
idea of
now
old will change.
I'm now an old person in radio, but in our house, I like on the Sports Star, I'm the young guy in the crew, and it feels like I'm sharing a house with my uncles. And so like Joe's like, "Hey, don't make a mess of this bathroom." Like he's like pointing down at me. But meanwhile, Joe is like the messiest bathroom guy ever.
Caveman.
Although he does at least whatever his hairspray and his
he's got product,
his gel and his brushes.
I'm not one to speak.
He at least cleans that up every day and puts it in his room.
Well, it's valuable stuff, man. You know.
Well, I don't think
that does.
I don't think he's worried I'm going to steal it. I can tell you that much. Hey, did you use my brush? No, I didn't, Joe.
You didn't use my detangler, did you?
No. But he just sprays water all over the room.
He like shakes off like a lab.
When he washes his hands, it's like he does this. Like he just flops his hands around and there's just water everywhere. It's on the sink, it's on the toilet, on the shower wall, it's on the mirror, everywhere. And then I started like, normally it's like whatever, it's a bunch of dudes here, but I'm like, this guy admonished me and was like, "Hey, don't make a mess of this bathroom." And then he's like a disgusting pig. So I don't want to be the guy who.
I think I'll speak for the old heads. You can do anything you want without repulsing us.
Okay.
I've been through enough that we'll be just fine there. I do appreciate the Joe Riding will keep things clean idea.
That's right, Bubba.
He is not the guy that grabs the dishes and goes. He's not the first one to grab a dish and rinse it off and put it in the dishwasher.
You and I handled the women's work last night.
He's a house cat.
It's funny. I would have thought that Joe would have been the guy to do the dishes last night because you cooked the steaks.
I'm pretty sure Joe doesn't do dishes. In my mind, I've never seen him do it. I don't have any expectations that he's going to do it. I'll tell you that.
Hell no. But Rob not only led the charge with the cooking, but also with the dish doing. That's
part of that. And I'm not that kind of much of a clean freak, but my son sleeps on that couch, and I didn't want him sleeping in what felt like a dirty kitchen. You know,
that's fair.
So I was just trying to make sure that the environment that my poor kid has to live through as we stomp through the rooms.
And that's the difference between you and I, because I would have said, "Hey, son,
clean it. Yeah.
You're doing dishes tonight, so you don't have to sleep in a dirty space."
That's part of it. But no, that's habit.
But I said I'm going to help Rob out with these dishes, and I tried to do some dish work as well.
You're right. And Jason would have jumped in there too.
But
I don't
not
think
Joe.
No, Joe does.
Joe is a man's man. That's woman's work.
Dishes. I don't think. I don't think it even crosses his mind. You know
I swear to God,
it's not even something like the dishes get done by the elves. I don't know.
Joe
on a dish, I put it in the sink, and then there's a clean dish.
I am so fascinated by Joe. I swear, Joe is like a King of the Hill character. I say that I've said this since the first day I met him.
He's from Alice, Texas, man. He fits the profile.
I think Arlen is based on Alice, and I mean, it's just like, think that I had a beer last night. Meanwhile, I mean, Joe was drinking wine. I opened that beer from that the brewer gave me at Casa Agria.
Okay, well, that's a whole other topic because that wasn't beer. That was an entirely different alcohol. It was good, but I would never, if you'd have given me that and said, "What is that?" I don't know, mead. It wasn't beer in my brain, but delicious, by the way.
Well, I offered some to Joe, and he's like, "Boysenberries, gross." And finally, I got him to try it, and he's like, "That's like sour." And I'm like, "Well, yeah. But it's like, yeah, that ain't for me."
Well, at least you gave it a shot.
Yeah, I gave it a shot.
Well,
but
that's a new Joe right there.
But it was he was like, and you kind of gave the same. That's not beer. It is beer. It's
I know
just unique
in the definition. But if you would have told me, "Hey, try something new," I would have been, "Oh, this is new and unique. I've never had anything like that." But when you give somebody, say, "Here, try this beer," and you drink that, there's nothing beer about it at all in my mind. The only thing that makes it beer is the carbon carbonization. You know what I mean? The frothiness. Everything else, if you said, you know what, this is mead, I would have said, wow, I like mead.
Yeah, well, mead has no carbonation.
See, in my brain, I don't know what mead is, but this was fruity and light, and it was good. I really enjoyed it.
Joe, not so much.
No, well,
but that's all right. But that was very good, and paired nicely with our meal.
And alcohol content above the norm.
Yeah, get the job done.
Well, I mean,
it's more than Miller Lite.
It pops off the tongue.
Yes. We are out at Texans camp, and the Texans OC.
Oh, wrong city.
Not the Texans, the Cowboys OC.
I'm trying to think who the Texans OC would have to say about us.
I don't think he'd have much to say.
But Schottenheimer is his name. We call him Schott.
Yeah, Brian Schottenheimer. Or Shotty, that's the easiest way to go about it. He took some questions yesterday and had some discussion, and he is. I don't want to say. I don't know that he's as under much pressure as the other guys, but if I'm looking at my head coach and I know he's in a make or break season, and I'm looking at my quarterback and I know he's in a make or break season, I'd feel like suddenly, boy, there's some pressure on me to do something this year as well. And we haven't really talked about that aspect of it, but I think it probably does exist. But I guess maybe the assumption is, well, it's only like year 2 for him.
Mm-hmm.
So how,
and keep in mind, he's coming off his quarterback nearly an MVP, 1,000 yards. This guy is a hot commodity who's standing with a bunch of dudes who might take the first exit.
But they asked him yesterday about Dak and what kind of growth he expects in year 2 of his system.
What I would say from Dak is, again, just see him growing in the footwork training, continuing the decision making. Again, everybody wants to talk about CD, and I get it. CD's going to be here. We know that. CD's getting prepared. But while he's gone, Dak is building up all these reps, throwing to T. Billy and Jalen Brooks and Jalen Tolbert and all that stuff. But again, here's another guy that he loves getting coached. The footwork training is different for him. He'll say that to him. Last year was different for him. I think you'll see that even take another step this year, which, again, is going to help him throw on rhythm, help him throw on time. And, again, he's just having a good camp. But, again, we're thrilled that he's getting the reps with these guys that maybe he doesn't have the banked reps. Some of those other guys.
I like how he's Fergie, T. Billy, he's got a little nickname for everybody.
Would you prefer your coach have a nickname for you, call you by your last name, or call you by your number?
Last name was easiest for me.
See, I was always the guy that was called by his number, and I felt like that sucked. I'd rather have a nickname, even if it was a bad one.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, hey, 8. Like, hey, coach, I've been here for 3 years. You should know my name.
Yeah. I mean,
so I'd rather have a nickname, good, bad, or indifferent, even if I picked it up like hanging around the dudes around the corner. Like, I probably shouldn't use the nickname. Do you feel like Shotty's allowed to use T-Lam or whatever?
You know what I mean?
T-Billy. Are you allowed to say T-Billy?
Hey, T-Billy, come over here.
Now, call me by my government name there, coach.
It could be like if they called you R. Tommy, would you have liked that?
I'd rather that than, hey, 8. Like, hey, coach, I share a bus with you.
Yeah,
every day for 3 years. 8.
You came to my house and talked to my mom and recruited me.
That 2-week backpacking trip together. Remember? Yeah. I was the guy in the windbreaker.
You were my scoutmaster.
Hey, yeah, 8.
We've slept in a tent together
and anyway,
naked. And you're just calling me 8?
8? Was that the number or?
Then I guess we call him Shoddy. So there's no rules. We had, when we started this segment, I said, what kind of pressure is this guy under? He also realizes, hey, what kind of uncertainties are there going into the final year of the contract for this coaching staff?
Yes, grew up in the household, so I understand the coaching business. I was around a one and done in Washington. I saw my dad from afar. I was in New York already, but get fired after a 14-2 situation. And so you just work, man. Look, I am so blessed to be the offensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys, to coach these unbelievable young men. I truly do focus on each day, one day at a time, and I get the business. If we win enough games, it'll be great. If we don't, you deal with that as well. But a ton of confidence in myself, the staff that we have. But the number one thing we can do is just put all of our energy and time where our feet are, which is developing these players, helping them play to the best of their ability, and the season will take care of itself. And that's really how I look at it.
We will address what he had to say there. And we'll hear a little bit more from him on the other side. His thoughts on Trey Lance as well coming up. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM. The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Hey, dude, you didn't tell me that he wrecked it, and it looks wrecked. How much was the insurance check? $8,000. Yeah, did y'all spend it on fixing it, or did you put it in your pocket? Well, my cousin. Just stop there. Just stop there. All I needed to know is $8,000 insurance and a cousin.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
The biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back. Circa Survivor and Circa Million are now up to a record $16 million in guaranteed prizes. 2 ways to win and no rate. Circa Survivor contestants select one team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all with $10 million guaranteed. In Circa Million, make 5 picks against the spread each week for your share of $6 million guaranteed through quarterly and full season payouts. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. Visit circasports.com for details.
The granddaddy of all hunting shows is back. The 2024 Hunters Extravaganza. August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Fun for the whole family. Check out our hunting seminars, the latest in hunting equipment, last season's best bucks in our annual deer contest, and for the little hunters, games, live alligators, snakes, and more. August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. For details and tickets, go to huntersextravaganza.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see change in their experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It's time to huddle up and listen close. For 2024, we pay tribute to a true game changer in the world of snacks, the unrivaled, the unbeatable, the pork rind. Yes, it's crunch time, and we're not just talking about the last few nail-biting minutes of the game. We're talking about a snack so audaciously crunchy, it puts those pretentious chips and pretzels to shame. So here's to you, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, for being more than just a crunch. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. It's crunch time. Find your rind at H-E-B.
A Gain Scent Bead story. Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said, "Maraca, senor," but his nose said, "Hey, freshest scent ever." Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring a bottle of Gain Scent Beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, "Sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing." Actually, Jim, most noses call them Gain Scent Beads. Try Gain Scent Beads, way fresher than detergent alone.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news.
Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
Looking for the perfect spot to catch the game? Come to 49 Cigars, where great sports meet the finest cigars. Enjoy big screen TVs, an exclusive cigar collection, plus BYOB. Visit 49 Cigars at Village of Stone Oak, Suite 101, 49cigars.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Morning Huddle 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. We heard before the break, we heard Brian Schottenheimer talking about the pressure that he's feeling and the staff is feeling. And it seems like of everybody, and not that Dak isn't going to land on his feet. When I say he seems like the guy most likely to land on his feet, and Dak is going to land on his feet. It's just a matter of what color shirt he's wearing when he does. But if everyone from the offensive staff is gone next year, it feels like Brian Schottenheimer will be the guy, the last man standing.
Yeah, but he's a hot commodity. He brought Dak. Keep in mind, 2 years ago, Dak had a terrible year as far as interceptions. 60, all the mess. Remember, and can it be fixed? Is he going to be able to do it? Will he bounce back? Well, yeah, he bounced. He brought him back in that first year. They adjusted his footwork. They adjusted timing patterns. They started running things that a lot of professional quarterbacks do on a regular basis, and it changed his methodology of running a game, and it turned him into an MVP quarterback. And what that did was turn Schotty into an NFL head coach, who, by the way, is uniquely prepared to do this, as you heard from the sound. He grew up with his dad, a legendary head coach. He's been born and ready. This guy, of everybody in the building, has the brightest future, as bright as Dak's, quite frankly, as there is imminent promotion coming. No matter what happens, things fall apart, Schotty will be all right, and Dak will be all right.
And it kind of ended up that way for Jason Garrett before.
Very similar.
It's not like Jason Garrett was like a world-class offensive coordinator, and they still said, well, you're the head coach now.
But also a guy born to be a head coach, and Schotty was born to be a head
certainly.
coach.
Yeah, he's got the pedigree. And it feels like whatever happens, I think he's gonna be the cockroach here on offense. I
don't want to
bleep hits the fan.
And I don't want to start the conversation about who's next, but he's already on the short list of who's next.
Oh, I think he'd have to be. I think he would have to be. He also had a take on Trey Lance, who is maybe the most talked about third string quarterback in the world of football. Trey Lance, but maybe, and I still don't really quite get it. I'll say this: if Trey Lance hadn't been drafted where he was drafted, Trey Lance wouldn't exist in the NFL anymore.
Probably.
Like, you can't.
You're right.
If he were a 5th round pick and we'd seen what we've seen out of him, he'd have washed out. He'd be playing in Canada or the XFL or maybe even the
or UFL.
He might be playing for the
Brahmas.
Well, no, the team with the Roughnecks.
Or Roughnecks.
Yeah, well, he might be playing for them, or the Renegades.
That's right.
Yeah,
the 40-yard fast break. That is
exactly. So it'd be something crazy, but because he was such a high pick, you're going to get all the chances, unless you're Josh Rosen, who I don't know what he does now. He may be homeless for all I know. The most NFL ready quarterback. LOL. But here's what Coach Schottenheimer had to say about Trey.
Well, number one, it's amazing to me Trey wasn't here last year. Like, you really forget. Like, you forget that we didn't get him till we kind of got back and rolling. And, like, what I see is a guy that's going out each day and he's competing at the highest level. Is he making mistakes? Of course he is. But I see improvement every day. If you watch his footwork, which, again, like we talked about with Dak last year, was different. Trey's never done some of this stuff. So what I see when his footwork speeds up and the ball comes out on time, okay, he's starting to figure it out. And he you cannot coach him hard enough. He just wants Scotty to coach him on every play, Mike to coach him on every play, me to coach him on every play. And the other thing I love about him is how he leans on Dak and Coop. Like, these guys know the system better than anybody else. They're on top of what we're, trying to get done. And again, I would say he's had more good days than bad days, but like everybody else, are there mistakes? Absolutely. We have to take care of the football better as a unit. But I see a player that, again, as he continues to get reps and continues to grow, you're going to see a guy that's, again, beginning to figure it out. And again, the timing, the rhythm of our passing game is probably the biggest stride that he's currently trying to make.
Trey is, you won't find people. Here's what I've noticed about Trey, and this goes back to Shanahan. This is his time with the Cowboys. You don't hear people saying bad things about him.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of, we think this is why this is happening. We think this is why the interceptions are happening. It feels like a lot of excuse making. I don't quite understand it.
Because they spent so much money on it. They spent so much capital on what is essentially a third-string quarterback. When you hear from Schotty or any offensive coordinator or a coach across the NFL, and you just take the words and take away the name and hear them describe their third-string quarterback, that's what they describe. A guy who wants to be coached hard, is getting better, obviously a long way away, willing to be coached by not only his coaches, but the guys in front of him. He's describing a rookie third-string quarterback that, if they decide to keep, will cost him $20 million. So
except he's not a rookie.
No. So you can tell. It's like I remember back when, and this is the perfect climate, when presidential candidates pick their vice president. They are forever having to justify why they chose him. Yes, he's young, and yes, but every day he's getting better and stronger. And this, if you have to justify it, you've already lost. Every day he's getting better. Well, yeah, he was awful when he got here. I hope he's getting better. So
it can't be much worse.
But the moment you hear him, he didn't describe one good play. No. He didn't say he's doing good things out there. Remember that play where he threaded the needle? He didn't bring up one of those. He said, and he's taking advice from the guys in front of him. Well, he better.
And he's looking at his mistakes, and he's figuring out how to fix them.
That's a third-string quarterback trying to make a team. I hope he's doing that. That is the bare freaking minimum for a dude that's going to cost you, if you decide to keep him, right at like $20 million. I might be exaggerating.
Your option number,
would it be if he was the dude that we brought in, a Dak Prescott, Mississippi State quarterback, that it was doing the same things before we saw Kellen Moore break his leg? I mean, the description was of a third-string quarterback with a long way to go.
The most interesting third-string quarterback in the world.
You're so right.
All right. Let's hit a break. When we come back, we'll hear from the other side of the ball, Coach Zimmenheimer, as I like to call him.
He's now the bad cop.
Zimmy that's what Schotty calls him. We'll hear from him next. It is the Morning Huddle at a Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, it is Friday here in Oxnard. Another day of Cowboys Training Camp.
Back to a full practice today. We will have a player on the show. That is still TBD. We get to talk about, bad preseason football, but it was football last night.
Yay.
How did the Houston Texans look?
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's Jason and Joe from the Blitz. Join us at Circa Las Vegas in August for the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest Weekend.
The Blitz will be live at Circa August 22nd and 23rd, and then we're staying for the weekend. Come to Vegas with us for the Ultimate Contest Weekend.
Circa Survivor and Circa Million are back. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
So join the Blitz at Circa Las Vegas. More details and discounted rooms available online at sasportstar.com.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem. And it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
This is the famous footwear that makes us actually want to go back to school. With the newest styles from all your favorite brands like Nike, Adidas, Crocs, Converse, New Balance, Birkenstock, and more. You'll find everything kids want, all at prices parents can appreciate. Because you don't have to overspend to make it famous. Famous Footwear even has fit experts in store to make sure you get the right size every time. So for the perfect fit, make it famous. Plus, right now, buy one, get one half off when you shop your local Famous Footwear or famous.com. Some exclusions apply.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle.
Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle. This back-to-school season, Tide and Downey are giving back with $1.5 million in scholarships. Enter to win. No purchase necessary. US/DC 17+. End September 30th. Rules. Tide.com/scholarship/official rules.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyer4us.com.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
When you've got a big job to do, never compromise. Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Get the power, comfort, and quality you need by choosing Kubota rental equipment. Excavators, skid loaders, track loaders, RTVs, or mowers. At Ewald Kubota, we have the machine you need when you need it. Rent by the day, week, or month. We know you want the dependable equipment Kubota is known for, and we can even deliver it to you. From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, for over 75 years, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Football season is among us. Experience the ultimate game day at 49 Cigars at the Village of Stone Oak, Suite 101. Enjoy our fine selection of premium cigars, and you can bring your own beverages. Catch all the action in style at 49 Cigars, where great cigars and unforgettable sports moments meet.
San Antonio Sports Star is sending our boys to see the boys. Coverage of Dallas Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard, California continues all this week. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, this is Greeny. We'll tackle the NFL and dive into the NBA today at 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Dun 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 dun. Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I'd have been the guy that says, like, I'm Baptist, and I go to the Catholic Mass, and we say the Lord's Prayer. See, as a Baptist, we add a couple of words. There's a couple of words in one of the phrases, and I'm always the guy that says the couple of words when all the other Catholics shut up. So it's obvious that I'm the Baptist in the congregation.
Okay.
So when you stopped, I would have kept going, dun, dun, because I didn't know the beat was going to drop.
Oh, listen, man, I know what I'm doing with this. I'm a pro. I'm a radio pro, Rob. Been doing this for 20 years now.
You are a radio professional.
Some people would say there's some people who think I'm even good at this.
I count me among them.
None in San Antonio, but
who cares about them? We do this for us.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We are live from Oxnard, California. Training camp for the Dallas Cowboys. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Been a good time out here as we wrap up our week. Last day of practice. We're going to try to come out here and film some practice and talk to the blitz guys while practice is going on.
It's an extravagant move.
We're trying something big.
We're going to leap into the 20th century.
We're trying something big. We're going to try to have video. We're going to try to be talking to the blitz and describing what we're seeing. And we're also going to hopefully have the video up here on the YouTube so everyone can see.
I'm going to have to strap this satellite dish to the top of my head. I bought a helmet.
Yes.
It should be a fun afternoon.
Now, we are going to have to shave a portion of your head to do that.
It's going to, the electrodes, I have to attach it to the brain. That's a new technology we're trying.
That's going to be unique, but I think it'll all work out well.
If it doesn't, I'll pee my pants and forget who I am for a little while.
I'm all right with that too. M. Zimmy. Some would call him Mike Zimmer, but I like to call him M. Zimmy.
Shotty does, so do we.
Yeah. His mama call him Zimmy. Shotty call him Zimmy. I'm going to call him Zimmy.
He's him.
He talked about this is a guy who we've mentioned a lot as a guy who's it's a big change on that side of the ball from what kind of a coach he is compared to what's been here the last few years. It seems like a little tougher.
Yeah.
A little tougher football there he's hoping for here. And these defensive guys, they always toughness, physicality, toughness. And then physicality, and then more toughness. But here's what Zimmy had to say about the uniqueness of having a guy like Micah Parsons.
I'm not sure if I ever had, obviously I've had some really good players with, Deion Sanders, Danielle Hunter, guys that we've been able to do a lot of different things with. But with him, I don't know that he couldn't play every position. He could probably play free safety if he wanted to. Now I don't want him back there covering pass very much, but no, he's he's brilliant. Number one, he understands football. Number two, we've been meeting in the mornings a lot. Paul with him and Trey Vaughn, and we talk about protections and schemes, offenses, or what they're trying to do, how they're going to attack him, things like that.
I will say this, and he makes a good point, and this is one of the more fascinating things about Micah. I don't think Micah is like a TJ Watt type pass rusher or a Bosa. I don't think he's to that level.
Mm-hmm.
But he can do things that those guys can't do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what kind of makes him so interesting to me and makes him so valuable, really, is that he's a very versatile player. And it's not like he's just a jack of all trades where he's kind of good at everything. Like, he's still an elite pass rusher. He might be like one of the 5 best pure pass rushers in the league, which that on its own can get you a whole lot of money. But when you factor in the stuff that he can do that the guys who might be a little better at him that actually rushing the passer can't do, that's where you see like what a valuable commodity this dude is. And that's why I think the only thing that can keep him from getting just a massive, massive payday is an injury, which I think is why early in the process he was like, okay, I can get paid today, I can get extended today, let's do it right now, right this minute. Because that's the only thing that's standing between him and a pile of money is health. And
even then, I think he's even past. It would have to be a cataclysmic career ender,
no doubt.
At this point, I think he's still reached that level. He'll be a top 5 paid player in the league, other than quarterback. when this is done, when he finally gets his deal.
But something I thought about last night during the Reinagel and Calvin show,
which would be fun, by the way.
I think we should call that show Calvin and Hobbes, actually. One of the things I took away from that was when Joe was like, why is CD sitting out? What good does it do? And I certainly didn't want to jump in the argument, but in my mind I was thinking, don't you think if he had the option that Sam Williams wishes he would have waited for an extension before going out there and playing in training camp and tearing his ACL?
Well, everybody who's sitting on a hospital bed looks back in the rearview mirror and going, damn, if any money they passed up on at that moment, yes. But the way that the league is structured, because of the lack of guarantees, you've got to hold out and get as much as you can when you have the opportunity. And sometimes you have to take that risk if you're going to do the kind of money that you're chasing. You got to pass up that first offer sometimes.
And you have to be the caliber of player that the team feels it.
Mm-hmm.
CD is the caliber of player that the team's like, oh my God, he's not here. Yeesh. Imagine what life would be like without him. So I have literally zero doubt that CD Lamb is going to be signed. And if he's not signed, I even have less doubt that he will be playing anyway. Like if they say, okay, we can't get a deal done, week 1 comes around, CD Lamb's going to be on the sideline with a star on his helmet. Like he's not going to miss actual games.
Mm-hmm.
It might be calling his bluff, whatever you want to call it. He's going to play.
I would everything you're saying, I would say with a caveat. The assumption is these guys are close. The assumption is that we're very close. If Jerry is lowballing beyond belief, I mean, to the point where this is embarrassing, I would sit out. I think there is still a small likelihood, and with every passing day, and especially after hearing the way Clarence was talking about it, I think you're exactly right.
But you think he would miss game checks?
I think he would if it was one of those kind of low ball offers. Like, dude, he took the Joe approach. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You going to hold out? Even though, and I'm going to offer you 27. What are you going to do? If it's that, yeah, he's going to hold out. But that's not the case.
I just can't imagine that would be the case.
Yeah, I don't think that's it.
All right, let's continue with Zimmy talking about and Trayvon Diggs is a big topic of conversation here. Getting him back, it's almost like drafting a new player.
It feels like it.
But I'm curious to see what he looks like. And you know what? Let me ask you this: as someone who, from the outside, where I've been, when you guys think about Diggs, how much of Diggs feels like he is really this elite player, and how much of it feels like, yeah, he's good at catching the ball when they throw it his way, but he's not necessarily a complete corner?
Well, I think we have to look been and what actually was, because Trayvon he is a home run hitter, and the home run hitter's got to swing and miss a couple of times. We understand that, but what happened with the injury and the remarkable resurgence of Deron Bland, the weaknesses in Diggs' game have been kind of covered up because Bland has been such a remarkable step-up kind of dude that we've already paid Diggs, and guess what? Now we got Bland, and there really isn't the concerns about the issues that Diggs had because Bland is here. I think you're right that we might have elevated him in stature, but the dude is a baller. It's just that he's going to give up some home runs now and again, and that was accepted and forgotten about now that when Bland showed up and became an All-Pro. So I think that the idea of what Diggs has been kind of elevated, but he's still really good.
So I do a lot of at my last job, I did a lot of like season-long projections, and a lot of what we were talking about was win totals and how you predict what a team will look like from last year and how it translates into the next. And one of the biggest things that I look at is that on defense, first of all, offense translates year to year much more effectively than defense does. Like if a team's a top 5 offense, the likelihood that they're going to be a bottom half of the league offense the next year is almost none, unless they've had a complete either a coordinator or a quarterback change. Whereas defense, you can be a top 5 defense one year and be 20th the next. It changes like the wind.
Is it because of one injury can really collapse the defense, or
yeah? But also a lot of it is the schedule you go against and teams adjusting to what you show them. But with the Cowboys, their success over the last few years on the defensive side of the ball, part of why I've been hesitant to really buy into it is so heavily predicated on turnovers. And turnovers are, I'm going to use this word, and Cowboy fan will probably not like it when I say it. Turnovers are 90% of it is luck. Like there is something to guys who ball hawk, but it takes a lot of luck to have turnovers. And you can go to PFF and look at turnover-worthy plays and how many of them actually turn into turnovers. And again, it can fluctuate greatly. So my thought is, if you took out the turnovers the last few years, the great turnover success that the Cowboys have had on the defensive side, would they still be a good defense? I don't know. So that's always my concern coming into the season, is like, particularly this season, because like you said, Diggs went out. He was the main cause of all these turnovers. And then Bland suddenly is turning teams over. Maybe the Cowboys are doing something unique, and maybe they're breaking the model that I've come up with. But until that's proven, I generally trust the research I've done, and that turnovers are luck.
Now keep in mind that this is a new scheme, and I think that Jerry and Will McClay and Steven and all the football minds at the Cowboys know that they've been riding a wave of turnovers over the last 3 years that followed a drought of about 5. There were the Cowboys for the first 4 years, from 2016 to 2021, they couldn't turn the ball over to save their lives. Yeah. I mean, that was an ongoing discussion, and one OC after another came through, and they could not, no matter the scheme or plan or talent, turn the ball over. And then they began to do that. Now, I don't know if they were drafting different players, but there was the Dan Quinn attitude. And the Dan Quinn attitude was predicated on turnovers and violence, but that violence didn't translate to toughness. We were a violent football team, but we've never been very tough. And there's a big difference. And I think Zimmer has come in with this toughness attitude and understanding, look, turnovers are the icing on the cake.
It's nice if they happen.
And I think Zimmer is here to rectify the concerns that so many of us have had. Like, we're riding a pretty good wave, but eventually you hit the shore. Eventually the turnovers are going to dry up. It's in the science. It's going to happen.
That's what I'm saying. It feels like you've been walking a tightrope.
But I do think at the very least, let's give the brain trust here the understanding that the Dan Quinn idea is gone, and that what they did go do is get a guy like Zimmer who comes in with the ideas. We're going to be a tough football team, and that might create turnovers, but we're really going to get you with toughness first.
Here's what Coach Zimmer had to say about his defense evolving while he was away from the game.
You're always going to have your principles of what you believe and what you do, but yeah, I mean, you're always trying to figure out. They've done some stuff here that was good that we've kept. And, a lot of the calls are maybe a little bit different for me right now. So I'm getting used to spitting that out much quicker than, in the past, I wouldn't have to think. It just, boop, boop, comes out. But yeah, I think you're always trying to figure out a little better mousetrap.
That sounded like he I don't want to say like nothing's changed, but that sounded like someone saying, how's this going to be different from the last time when you were unceremoniously fired from your job? And it's him saying, well, I've worked on those things, but pretty much I do what I do.
And I think Zimmer's earned the right to say that. And it's also very difficult to turn a battleship. He's coming in, taking over a defense that has been predicated on a very different thing than the way he coaches. But unfortunately, the guys he has are the guys that were doing the other thing. So he has to maintain some semblance of what used to happen and add in his flavor. I get what he's saying. I do know that Zimmer, while you hear him and he's got kind of the soft-spoken, he doesn't sound tough. This dude is tough, and he get after you, man. And I do think that he's trying to grow this toughness idea over the flash of the turnover. where Dan Quinn celebrated that, celebrated the big play, the big violent play. But the Cowboys lost games because they weren't tough enough. They weren't mentally and physically tough enough to get through those fourth quarters without making a stupid mistake or giving up the big play while trying to do the flash and dash, the Dan Quinn thing. And I think they went and got Zimmer. One, because he was absolutely available, but two, because he did bring an attitude that, quite frankly, probably needed to be instilled in their stars.
And finally, Coach Zimmer talking about Mazi, as he likes to call him,
the Big M,
Mazith. That's what Shotty calls him, Mothzilla.
Let's hope he calls him that.
That'd be cool too. But let's hear what he had to say about him.
Mazi, what have you seen? So much talk about Mazi.
I'm so glad you asked, because if no one asked about that, I was going to mention it today.
Okay.
So there you go.
So much talk about Mazi and what he means. Can you talk about what you see from him and expectations?
Well, I'm gonna tell you. I believe, regardless of what I hear on the outside, what we're asking him to do, he's doing a really good job. You may not see him make flash plays, but we see him taking on double teams, getting his hands in the right place. I see him, understanding where he's supposed to be. He's not going to be a speed rusher by any stretch. He's going to have to be a power rusher and push the pocket. But as far as the run game, what I've seen so far, I've been impressed with him. He's doing a really good job. Now he's got to keep it up, but I've enjoyed what I've seen with him, along with the rest of the defensive line.
Mozilla. I think that's a good name for him.
Let's hope he earns it.
Yeah. Somebody said something. Rin said, I expected Zimmy to have more bass in his voice.
He's hoarse, man. He's screaming. He's a screamer. You can hear him at practice.
But he's right, though. Even when he was a head coach, I would listen to him. I'm like, boy, that sure doesn't sound like a guy who's inspiring men. But I'll tell you make a career out of the NFL and you sound like this. It's like, okay, you must be saying something right. I always said the same thing about Wade Phillips. Like, I'd feel like I'd have to have a Wade Phillips translator if I was playing for Wade Phillips.
Is he mad at me?
Yeah. Well, yeah. We were comparing him yesterday to Bob Dylan. How I would imagine being in the room, being coached by Wade Phillips. If you're not familiar with his lingo, would be like going to a Bob Dylan concert and not knowing the lyrics. You're not going to pick him up right away. With Wade, it would have been like football and the defense. You don't always get things right away. But yeah, Zimmy. Listen, man, I think this guy is going to bring some attitude to this team, which I think is needed, some toughness, which is needed. And if that is the case, then maybe it kind of quells my questions about the turnovers and winning with stuff like that. That seems like maybe it's fugazi.
I think that listen to the words he used with Mozilla, well, hopefully, and compare them to the way
Maserati
that Shotty talked about T-Lance or whatever.
T-Leezy.
They sounded very much the same. They told me this guy sucked. I've been pleasantly surprised because everybody told me what a mistake we made, and don't expect a lot from him. Don't expect him to be a sacker. He's going to be taking on blocks. He's going to be the run stopper, the fire plug. It sounded a little protected. It did, but I also feel like he is in fact better than maybe he expected. Like they told me this cat sucks, and it turns out he can actually stop the run.
All right, coming up at the top of the hour here, we're going to give away some tickets to the Big Three over there in San Antonio. Maybe you'll see Ice Cube there. Maybe you'll shake his hand. Maybe you'll sign him to a movie deal. He'll want you to be in his next one.
We call him Cube.
Cube. Ice Cubesy. We'll talk about that next and hear from Micah. It's the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM, Floresville.
Do you know anyone who lives a life of gratitude? Do you know anyone whose life is marked with ingratitude? And which of these do you want to be around? Better yet, which of these do you want to be? Where gratitude enriches and enlarges our personal world, ingratitude poisons it. And the poison is called entitlement. Entitlement says the world owes me, therefore I deserve it, Therefore, why be thankful or grateful for something I'm owed? But life does not work like that for a lot of reasons, and it explains why there is resentment in many hearts. On the other hand, a humble life sees the beautiful things that come our way as a gift, the gift of a beautiful morning, a good cup of coffee, a real friendship, a great family, a job with a paycheck, or good sleep. There is a proverb from the Hebrew scriptures that says, humility is the fear of the Lord. Its wages are riches and honor and life. So you might begin each day in awe of the one who made such an awesome creation, filled with countless reasons for gratitude. This is Mark Absher, the MacArthur Park Church of Christ. Visit us online at macarthurchurch.org. The MacArthur Park Church of Christ, connecting God and people.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyerforus.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. From high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone, including blackjack tournaments. From the owners of the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, the Big Blind is locally owned and operated, offering daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 and Redland Road.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Hi, welcome to Staples.
Yeah, my daughter needs a laptop for college, but I need to watch the budget.
Well, Staples hot deals on tech are backed by a price match guarantee, so our prices won't be beat.
Great. I can't believe my baby's starting college.
She'll do great.
I know.
Oh, let's get you a great deal on a laptop.
Save big on tech for school at Staples. Now get up to $300 off select PCs. And save 24 price match guarantee valid within 14 days of purchase. Exclusions apply. For details, visit staples.com/price match.
Calling all brothers and sisters of the Leaf. Come to 49 Cigars in the village of Stone Oak, Suite 101, where game is always on and cigars are always premium. Enjoy a fine selection of cigars in our unique lounge. And remember, it's BYOB, 49cigars.com.
San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the wake of the Sam Williams injury, the Dallas Cowboys are signing free agent defensive ends Al-Qadim Muhammad, formerly of the Saints, Bears, and Colts, and former Commanders defensive end Shaka, former teammate of Micah Parsons at Penn State. NFL preseason kicked off last night with the Hall of Fame game. Texans fell to the Bears 21-17. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, gentlemen. I just see that I got a missed phone call from my producer.
Uh-oh.
Vic, is the discussion you wanted to have,
is it
good for public air? What were you calling me for? Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
You're about to be produced.
Is it bad news? Did I do something wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. You're good.
Did I say a cuss word again?
You've
no.
never said a cuss word on air.
Okay.
On purpose.
Just making sure. All right. We are giving away tickets to go see the Big Three. What you know about that Big Three? Have you seen any of this Big Three action?
I've watched the Big Three for several years. I'm a big fan of what Cube has done in extending the life of former well-known professional basketball players.
Yeah, it's nice to see these guys get to keep playing a little bit longer. The Big Three is coming to San Antonio, and we want to send you. We want you to go. We want you to be in on the action. And here's what I want from you. And this is how I'm going to give away these tickets. Now, this is easily Googleable, but you're going to have to work to Google. The last year we had a new champion crowned. We've seen Trilogy win 3 times. We've seen the triplets win once. We've seen Power win once.
And these are the teams that play in the
these are Big Three teams. Last year we had a first-time champion coached by Nick Young. I want to know the name of the team that won the Big Three championship last year. If you're the first person to call Vic and tell him who it is, then guess what, friend? You're going to see the Big Three in San Antonio. I believe, what is it, on Sunday, Vic? Is that right?
Yes.
You got tickets to go see him on Sunday.
At the Frost Center.
What a time it will be. What a time it will be. Good old Big Three. Enjoy it. Say hello to Ice Cube for me, or Cube as he and Rob are tight.
We're boys. So there's other teams' names. I don't want to give away the winner.
Throw some out there.
There's you said Trilogy. There's the Ball Hogs.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Tri-State.
A lot of these guys are very creative because they like to use the number 3 in their team name, which is, it's so clever.
I get it. Now it's all the enemies.
And
then one Bivouac.
They're guys who like to go camping before the game,
and their logo is 3 ants. And the group Bivouac.
Yeah.
So they're like,
what they do is they go out on a camping expedition before the game. They sleep outdoors, then they wake up and they ball out on your ass.
Gary Payton's the coach. Corey Brewer, we know him. Gerald Green, we know him. Garland Green from Houston, don't know him. Jalen Johnson, know him.
This must be a Houston-based team.
Must be,
because a lot of those guys have Houston ties. Corey Brewer played for a long time for the Rockets. So Gerald Green.
I guess Garland and Gerald, they might be brothers.
You think so?
They kind of look alike. Maybe not. Both from Houston.
Corey Brewer, at one point, one of the most underrated defensive players in all of the NBA. There was a time where he was like about as good as it got for on-ball defense, and a 2-time national champion.
So we got that going for us. That's Sunday out at our Prost. That's Big Three.
Vic, do we have a champion yet?
He's probably on the phone.
Hold on. I'm answering calls.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll
carry on.
Come on the air and tell me when we've got a winner, because I want to announce that winner and say, hey, great job, Bubba. great job.
Got it.
There was an arrest made, and this is very, very serious business in the state of South Carolina.
Okay.
2 people were arrested and charged with assault. And this story involves several things that are scary, including a gun, a knife, Raid bug spray, and unseasoned chicken. Deputies were called to a home in reference to an assault in progress. When deputies arrived, they were told that the situation began when Anthony Harper was asked why he didn't season the chicken that he was cooking so it could crust up.
Yeah. Well, I care about such things.
Now, Anthony said, I don't know how to cook. Grandma's going to season this. Hope Harper, who's the other person involved, then called Anthony a dumb dog.
Well, he doesn't know how to season chicken.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I've never met a dog who knew how to season chicken.
Well, there you go.
But
dumb dog.
This made Anthony very angry. He said, hey, just because I don't know how to season chicken, no one's ever taught me.
You're just a dumb dog.
He responded poorly. He shoved Hope into a table and then punched her about 5 times.
Thereabouts. Okay. A proper response in many households, I think.
The 2 continued to fight when another person in the home came out of the kitchen and fired a warning shot from a 9mm handgun into the ceiling in an attempt to break up the fight. If your sons were fighting in the living room, would you just come out and shoot your pistol into the ceiling?
I have many times.
And say, break it up, boys.
That's what I do.
That's a weird way to break up a fight.
Well, I mean, it's either that or the hose. And I don't want to get my couch dirty.
Hope then went into the kitchen and grabbed a steak knife, which their kitchen better prepared for steak night than ours was. We didn't have steak knives. We all
had weird little scalpels.
I had a butcher knife that I had to use.
I had some kind of weird curved,
I've never seen a knife like your knife.
A medical implement, but
it did. It looked
like the knife.
Like something you would use to stitch.
Or something.
Like a crochet needle.
But we digress.
Anthony broke free from being held back after she went and grabbed the steak knife. He ran to his grandmother's door for fear of his life and maybe to ask her how to season the chicken. Well, then Hope starts swinging the knife towards Anthony when the grandmother comes out of her room, grabs a broom, and starts swatting Hope until she walked away to put the knife up.
Sounds like a fun night at the house.
Then Anthony grabbed a can of Raid bug spray, sprayed Hope in the face and neck.
Sounds justified.
That doesn't seem nice. Hope then grabbed the can from Anthony and sprayed him back. Imagine these 2 bleeding, battered, covered in roach spray.
So how's the chicken doing?
That's what the chicken's burning this whole time. Both Anthony and Hope wanted to press charges against one another. Both were arrested. Hope was booked into Georgetown County Detention Center for 1 charge of assault and battery in the 3rd degree, released on $1,087.50 bond. Anthony was booked in the detention center on 2 charges of assault and battery, 1 in the 3rd degree, 1 in the 2nd degree, released on $3,587.50 bond. No word yet if Grandma properly seasoned the chicken.
Did the chicken turn out? And were they breasts or were they? I have lots of questions.
Oh, imagine not seasoning white meat appropriately.
Yeah, that's like a chicken thigh. At least I'd have some juice to it. You know, a dried chicken breast,
dry ass,
worthy of raid to the face in my house.
Yeah, and
worthy
at least
of raid
getting
to
hit
the
with a
face.
broom.
Well, I get that on the daily anyway.
Dumb dog.
You dumb. You're just a dumb dog. That's it. That's justifiable homicide in South Carolina.
That's at least worth getting smacked with a broom.
Don't call me a dumb dog.
Micah Parsons was in the spotlight yesterday, and he's a guy who, at the beginning of the offseason, it seemed like there were going to be 3 squeaky wheels on the Cowboys bus, and he's kind of stopped squeaking. I think he understands, like, hey, all right, you guys got priorities. I think he saw the writing on the wall. He was low on the priority list because if the Cowboys want, they can keep Micah Parsons for the next 4 seasons and he can't really do a damn thing
That's
about
pretty
it.
much.
And so it's like, I don't think they plan on doing him like that. I think they're going to take care of him. But I think Micah understands now that, okay, they have to get CD and Dak taken care of one way or the other with Dak before they get to me. But they did talk to Micah, and let's first hit this longer. Let's hit number 4 first, because this is maybe the most interesting thing. Micah talking about the scrutiny he gets and how people treat him, based on, instead of on his individual play, based on the Cowboys team success.
Oh man, I get a lot, but every scrutiny is because you earn scrutiny. It's the expectations, right? You have to be blind and say that you don't have expectation wearing a star. You got to be like, that's why I say it's a delusion factor. They say like it's okay not to win or act like those losses don't hurt or don't matter. Like that's delusional to me, because it's earned. This is a winning program. The fans expect to win. We expect to win. It just hurts me when they think I don't try to win. That's the part that hurts me, because people don't know how much I love this game and what I put into the game just so we can win, or how much I really try. Like, that's the part that hurts me the most, is when people have this thing or idea that players aren't trying. Sometimes the reality is sometimes you are out coached, sometimes you are out schemed. Sometimes people have the answers for what you dial up, and there's nothing you can do in the game plan you thought they were going to come out in. They come out different. That's the reality of the NFL. It is physical. It is, you need speed, you need strength, all that stuff. But it's so much of it's mental, IQ, position, field positioning. It's the details, the little things. Yeah, in some aspects, sometimes we do need to be better with that. But the reality is sometimes their team makes better plays. They make the splash plays. They make the deep shots. They make the best contested catch. They do a better job containing CD, or whether it was Tony Pollard or Zeke. But that's just the reality of the situation. Sometimes their quarterback might have the best game of their life. We've seen that multiple times. Our quarterback comes to Dallas and say, I'm Pat Mahomes today. It's just the reality. That's the expectations of Dallas. I never shy from that. I don't care if I was playing for the 0-16 Detroit Lions. I would still say we was going to the Super Bowl, because that's my faith, my belief, what I'm putting into the game, my preparation, and if you don't have, the reality is if you don't got 50 guys with that same preparation, that same mentality, then that's where the struggle comes from. And that's where, the coaching and players, we have to be better at making guys believe they can be great and whatever it is. But I don't think, you should be playing football if you don't have that belief that you can be great or that you belong here, This game is more than just a check to me. That's why you play hurt. That's why you play tired. You go through all those emotions because you love this game. And we're only guaranteed, we play 17 games. You only get 17 days out of 365 to showcase why you're the best. And I think that's why every down, every game I go as hard, because, I only got 17 chances, max guaranteed, not even including playoffs, to show why I'm the best, why we belong here, why I hope Jerry keeps me here, all that stuff.
It's funny. He finally got around to saying something like, a quarterback could have his best day ever. Because before that, all he was talking about is like, the team might out-scheme us. They might out-coach us. He never said they might outplay us. But then when he got to the players, he's like, they may have the answers to shut down CD or Zeke or Tony Pollard last year. He's talking about hey, we can't control that. Then finally he was like, maybe somebody says I'm going to be Patrick Mahomes today, and that happened to us.
It seems to happen to you more often than others, I'll tell you that.
Well, they made Jordan Love look pretty Mahomesy.
Yes, I'm like, okay, yes, sometimes teams are just better than you. Sometimes.
There's some things I liked hearing from him. I liked hearing that, this is more than just a check. I like hearing that and everybody says that. With Micah, I generally believe it.
Oh, you don't get great. I mean, a lot of it's natural, just God-given. He can just do things other humans can't, but most of it is hard work. I don't think people are questioning that. But when you start saying, well, sometimes you're just not the best team. Well, that's kind of the problem there, Micah. I mean, sometimes seems to be all the time with us. Sometimes in those big games we just don't turn up. No, all the time.
Usually.
We haven't turned up yet. So, sometimes with whole league involved, with you, We've had issues with you closing the season out. You're going to have to stay tough all the year long, and forgive us if we question some of the off-season stuff you do, because week 14, 15, 16, we'd like you to be running at the same level most guys are at that level, or, physically. We know you're going to be banged up, but you got to close out strong too. You've yet to do that. Yes, your team continues to lose in big games. It's not just sometimes, Kat. It's the big times, and it's all the time in the big times. So there's work for you to be done.
We're out here at Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard, California, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. We're listening to some sound from yesterday.
Sometimes
with
the bear
Mike
just
Parsons.
gets you. Sometimes the bear eats you, Sometimes.
That's why I always hang out with people who are fatter and slower than me, just in case we get chased by a bear.
Yeah, sometimes just get your ass kicked,
Congrats to Alex De La Torre. He is our champion, our winner of the Big 3 tickets. The enemies. Rob he gave it away. He didn't.
Was it the enemies?
The enemies are.
Well, I didn't know who it was.
Champions.
I was hoping it was the bivouacs.
No, it's the enemies are the defending champions.
I just like saying bivouac.
Yeah, I like saying enemy. The kids call them ops now. Enemy is a washed out word.
The opposition, the ops.
They call them ops. Like if you're a hater, you're an op.
Is that Trill?
Yeah, I think so. All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, we'll continue with Micah and what he was discussing yesterday. And then at 8:45 Central Standard Time, apparently, we're going to have Deuce Vaughn on the show. At least that's in the game plan.
Led to believe that, yes.
And we'll hope that happens. And if so, we'll bring it to you right here on this little radio station. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, it is Friday here in Oxnard. Another day of Cowboys Training Camp.
Back to a full practice today. We will have a player on the show. That is still TBD. We get to talk about, bad preseason football, but it was football last night.
Yay.
How did the Houston Texans look?
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Can a president not have sex with a porn star?
Clinton did it. No one had a problem with Clinton doing it.
Or
Kennedy, or... No one had problems with them doing it, right?
It's definitely an ingredient that was injected from the other side. What's the guy's name? The evil guy from Hungary, super rich.
Dracula?
No.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Hear that? Want to elevate your game day experience? Head on over to 49 Cigars at the Village of Stone Oak and Suite 101 and enjoy a selection of premium cigars and lively atmosphere perfect for cheering on your favorite team. Visit 49 Cigars today. 49cigars.com.
Are you an annoying know-it-all? Answering questions no one asked of you? Do people often ask you, how do you sleep at night? Then you should go to Mattress Firm. They have knowledgeable sleep experts specifically trained to help match you with the right mattress. So anyone, even people like you, can sleep. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We can get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we can take care of that free of charge. We've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
George gets justice. No amount of money can make up for a life-changing injury. I'm George Salinas, and at George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our team of attorneys will fight to get you the maximum compensation because we prepare and we care. So if you've been injured in an accident, get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Testosterone levels in men can start to decrease as early as 30 years old, and long-term health risks can be extremely damaging to your body. Rock's Discount Vitamins carries a variety of natural testosterone boosters that can immediately provide you with more energy, increased libido, increased metabolism, and improve your mood. Rock's Discount Vitamins natural testosterone boosters can even help you build muscle and lose weight faster. With 11 San Antonio locations, visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. Thanking God and South Texas for all the support.
3 bands, 1 stadium. Journey, Def Leppard. The Steve Miller Band. 3 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame icons. Their biggest hits. Friday, August 16th, Alamo Dome. Tickets on sale now at DefLeppardJourney2024.com.
Looking for the perfect spot to catch the game? Come to 49 Cigars, where great sports meet the finest cigars. Enjoy big screen TVs, an exclusive cigar collection, plus BYOB. Visit 49 Cigars at Village of Stone Oak, Suite 101, 49cigars.com.
You're listening to The Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
No, I think we're back. Morning Huddle, 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. We are back, right, Vic?
Yes.
I thought so.
We are working here.
You know, we're trying to set up our stage. We're trying to set it up for Deuce Vaughn, who's going to join us here in a little while. And Clay took the day off.
Well, he was given the day off. Yeah, he did take the day.
I would have said, get your ass to work.
Yeah.
But he's friendlier than me.
Yeah. He's a poor kid. I'm starting to feel sorry for him. He's been.
Oh, yeah. I feel so bad for him.
Well, you think you're staying with your uncles? Imagine what he feels like.
What a tough life he's got out here.
He has lived a tough one having to hang with the Cowboys like that.
Yeah, and there's worse things. I got to tell you. And you'll see when one day it'll be my boy out here doing that.
I hope so, man.
And he ain't gonna get no friendly treatment. Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. And, of course, we are out here at Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. We've been hearing from Micah Parsons, and I want to wrap that up before we hopefully get Deuce Vaughn here on site at 8:45. But I talked earlier about kind of the uniqueness of Micah, and one of the things that makes him special is his versatility. And he was asked about that yesterday as well.
You know, I think you guys can see what I'm going to be doing is a whole bunch of stuff, dropping, flats, curls. I mean, it's really everything. And they're really just expanding my versatility, you know, using me in ways that I should be used and, you know, moving me around, making them ID me and bringing pressures from other places, bringing me when they should bring me. But he's going to utilize every asset of my ability, and that's just, you know, something I appreciate. But that was the point of the focus of, you know, trying to be in better shape, trying to be better, knowing what the standard and what he was going to have me do was. So, you know, I think, you know, I really like it a lot, and it's going to be a really good year for me, I believe.
Well, and if it is a really good year, all the more negotiating power he'll have next offseason when it is, in fact, his turn. And not just his first opportunity, but it's actually time to pay Micah.
Zim coaches stars well.
Oh, yeah.
He knows how to utilize great football players. Did when he was here before with DeMarcus Ware. Will do it again with Micah Parsons. Micah's going to be a superstar like he was before. It's just staying healthy, closing the things out, and becoming more than just a great player. Be a great winner. You know, there's this. You're a great player. You are. But it now needs to translate to wins, to the Hall of Fame kind of stuff that everybody's projecting for you. It's now time for you to lead a team to something beyond just great stats.
Well, one of the things that they asked him about is something that we talked to Will McClay about our first day out here. Was our first or second day we had McClay on?
Our second day, I believe.
Okay. But we talked to him about the Sam Williams injury and how it affects, you know, not just, I guess, schematically, how you go about using a guy like Micah. And he was asked what he's been told about that.
Yeah, you know, I think it's more, it doesn't change my plan at all, but it needs Marshawn has to step up and, you know, more young guys or whoever we bring in. And it may mean I have to do more. You know, the loss of Sam was so huge. That's really like my brother, you know, and it really hurts. So, you know, those times where I might get a break or that substitution, I might have to stay on for a couple more plays and things like that, depending on situations and things like that. So it really ramps up what conditioning or what phase we have to be in for these games. And, you know, I put more on D-Law also, you know, year 11 vet, and there's no more like, oh, you know, we don't have a DA or a Dante Fowler anymore. And, you know, losing those crucial role pieces at this point in the season so early on really hurts, and it's going to rise more for him to step up too.
You know what? He said something there at the end. Losing these role players really hurts at this point. I'll argue this. If Sam Williams was going to get hurt, this early in camp was the best time to do it.
Yeah.
Because now at least you know, when you lose a guy and he's going to be gone for the season, I'd rather it happen as soon as possible. It's almost like you saw Bland in what he did last year when Diggs was gone. Because you can adjust. You've got time to adjust. The worst thing you can do is what the Packers had to do last year. Like or not the Packers, the Jets. You start the season, Aaron Rodgers, your quarterback. 3 plays in, he's blown out his Achilles, and everything you planned the entire offseason for is now up in smoke.
With literal no plan in case.
No.
So I get it. Boy, that's worrying to me when I hear him talk like that, because if you're already feeling this in day 4 of practice, that I'm noticing that there's no one behind me to help, and I'm noticing the absence of my defensive lineman beside me, and I'm feeling that I'm going to have to do more. Wow. Now, you're the superstar, and you should be thinking that way, but it makes me feel like, yeah, this new defense and whatever Zimmer's doing, minus some manpower from the star who's looking around going, man, it looks like I'm going to have to do some more. Yeah. That's a little worrisome in its grand context. It's certainly exactly what I want to hear from my best player.
All right, let's hit a break, and hopefully in the next segment, we'll be talking to Cowboys running back hopeful Deuce Vaughn. See how he thinks camp is going.
Some wide receiver work too.
Yeah, and
cross training.
Yeah. I want to know if he's doing anything with the kickoff team.
Interesting stuff, man.
So we'll talk about that next. The Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports.
You know, last night it was steak night. We had to go to 2 different places to go find the steaks that were adequate to our taste. You don't have to go any other place than Tri-County Meat Market to find the very best steak you're looking for. Starting at prime, you're looking for Wagyu, they got it. Akaushi too. Want one of those giant tomahawks that you have to back your truck up to put into the bed? They got them. And if you're looking for bone-in, bone-out ribeyes, whatever you're chasing, they've got it, and they've got the very best of it. But you're not always chasing a steak like we did last night. If you're looking for the best chicken or the best deals on chicken, they've got that too, and prepared foods to go along with anything you have planned on your menu. That's why you go to Tri-County Meat Market. The meat is spectacular, but the stuff that goes along with it just as good. Looking for a new rub, you need charcoal, you need another different pellet blend, they've got it. That's Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations. The 5 for $25 in play at both, Huebner Road out at Ralph Fair. Head over to Tri-County today, put some good meat on the grill, and I know you're going to be thanking me later.
San Antonio's Sports Star.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all day freshness.
It's better over here. If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has an exclusive rate plan just for you. Right now, get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Plus, you can get one of the latest 5G phones free when you add a line. That's right, a free 5G phone. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. So why wait? At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Just go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 or visit your local store to make the switch.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Free phones up to $300 off with 24 monthly bill credits and qualifying new line for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Contact us before canceling entire account to continue remaining bill credits. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See details at T-Mobile.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns
That's right.
to turnovers, no, and overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice! Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go, so I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partner with Beacon. With the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like Certainty Landmark Pro, right at my fingertips. It's like having my Beacon rep in my pocket 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through November, purchase Certainty through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $750. Beacon, always building.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax relief. People.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star live at Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard, California.
You want to see some California? Go look on your device. We have the curtains open. The studio is open air.
Oh, we got sunshine coming down now.
Now, the sun rises in front of us behind us. We're looking west, so the sun is coming over our back. And we expect Deuce Vaughn to cast a shadow, as in maybe not as long as others.
Come on, dude.
You'll be hearing this.
What's wrong with you?
Just a couple of minutes.
God, I'm going to tell him you made that joke. So apparently, last year, Deuce Vaughn was going to join the Blitz.
Yep.
And while he was waiting outside the tent to come on,
heard a short joke.
He heard Joe Reinagle calling him a gadget player, saying he's not even a real NFL player. I
think he's forgotten who that was.
I'll hope so. I want him to know that it wasn't us.
Well, obviously, or he wouldn't have said yes. But maybe he's a forgiving sort. Maybe he understands that the uniqueness of his game should be something he should embrace instead of run from.
Right.
Underneath tables.
Now, Mike, I'm worried for old Deuce, because here's what McCarthy had to say yesterday about how they're going to build this roster. And every team knows that they've got to decide how many guys do I want to carry at this position. What are we prioritizing? And since McCarthy's taken over, the Cowboys have settled at 4 running backs, including a fullback. And we've heard him say that there could be more 21 looks this year, which means that a lot of teams have gone away from fullbacks altogether. It doesn't look like the Cowboys are going to, go all the way away from them. We know that Zeke is going to make this team. It looks like Rico Dowdle is going to make this team.
Those are 2 guarantees.
And if they keep Hunter Lepke at full, that's 3.
You forgot the pickup, the offseason pickup.
Royce Freeman.
There you go.
Seems like that would be the 4th guy.
But I will say that does feel like the 4th guy. But as camp has begun, we have seen Deuce work with some wide receivers. It's angering to be called a gadget.
Yeah.
But there's also some value in it, because a gadget is applicable because a gadget works if you use the gadget appropriately. So I think as a professional, you start to embrace the idea that you can be a specialist in this world and be considered a benefit. And I think there is something to what he's capable of doing, and that's worthy of a look-see. And I obviously the coaches feel the same way, or they wouldn't be cross-training him or having him running with the receivers, because he can do some things that not a lot of people in the world can do. It's just a matter of finding the time and space and having the room to keep it.
Well, what they talked to McCarthy about yesterday was Royce Freeman and how he's fitting in. And McCarthy said that Royce was a standout on special teams and in pass protection.
Yikes.
And when McCarthy says that, it makes me think, okay, that's important to him.
Vital.
And that's something that Deuce Vaughn is just not going to be good at. Let's just face it.
That's not something that you would even ask him to do.
It's not just a size thing. He wasn't a great pass blocker in college.
Why would I ask him to do it? I mean, you're going to clip some dude, and you're a last gasp, but he is never the personal protector for the quarterback.
No. Now, if he's going to be a special teamer, there's really only one option. He would have to be a returner. And the Cowboys already have Turpin, so it means that you would be half a kickoff specialist. I think we're going to see how he works out as a wide receiver, but it does put him in a weird spot where he's not sure if he's going to make the team, and if he does, he's not sure what position he's going to be playing.
Yeah, James Pledger would call it a luxury position. I agree. on every football team because, again, he can do some very unique things that no one else in the world can do and do it in ways that can help you win football games. But it's a luxury to have that guy because that space he's taking up does preclude some things that you might also need: pass protection, blocking, special teams, jamming, all those things that keep young guys on a team. And he's just a second-year guy. I appreciate the skill set. I can't wait to talk to him just because he's a great story on top of everything else. But it was a tough road last year. He made it, and the expectation is, I think, from the Cowboys side of things, is he's going to have every opportunity to get there, and they're making them some allowances to try it at another position because, again, he can do some really good things, but will they ever be in a position to use it? And can they afford to give up some stuff to keep him?
Now, Deuce, when he was in college, he was solid as a receiver
Monster.
out of the backfield.
Yeah.
In fact, in 2022, he was the only player in the country to be over 1,500 rushing yards and 350 receiving yards. The only player in the country his last year of college. So that it can be a part of his game. It's just yet to be determined if that's if, as Joe Reiniger would say, is he catching those balls as a gadget guy, or can he do it when he's lined up with someone across from him, knowing that he's a target in the passing game?
Well, he did it in college. There's the potential, but we didn't ever get a real chance to find that out last year.
Rob, there's a difference in being a guy who catches the ball out of the backfield.
I agree.
And being a guy who lines up on the line with a cornerback staring at you saying, okay, can you beat me one-on-one?
I don't think they would ever use him like that either. I think he's a slot back, get the guy in space off a little bit of a rub and hope that when he catches the ball, there's nobody within 3 or 4 yards and go make a play.
But if they're talking about him working it or making his team as a receiver, it can't just be on for like a 2-play package.
That's what I'm saying. He's a luxury guy. And can the Cowboys afford to have a luxury guy when really their luxury is the fullback that can do the special teams, run the ball, catch the ball, do all that? That's your Swiss Army knife. You can't afford to have 2 of them. You know, just unless you are really set up, and they're hoping, I think, that they are.
Yeah. So unless McCarthy changes his stripes on how many running backs he's going to carry or how he feels about fullbacks, I think that it's going to be an uphill battle for Deuce. I'm curious how he's feeling, like what his confidence is like.
The fullback has been a point of discussion around the Cowboys camps for years because, Garrett always liked fullbacks too. And to me, it's kind of like carrying a holder. A kick, I have a special. All I keep is a holder on field goals. That's his only job.
Yeah,
that's a luxury thing that the just in cases. I don't plan that way, and that seems like a position that I would give up.
When I was in Houston, Kubiak loved fullbacks, and it
had a role at a time.
And there's certain coaches need like a. And I said Kubiak, which goes to Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Juszczyk ends up. He's a very key part of what they do in San Francisco, but their offense is so unique and has so many playmakers that you can kind of afford not to have one. Like, okay, we can have one guy who's not really a playmaker. He helps our playmakers make plays.
Right.
It is sort of a luxury piece. The Cowboys don't have a lot of playmakers.
No. Certainly an NFL caliber guy. It's just, can it fit with what the plan is? And especially considering you're skinny at wide receiver, you're skinny here. It might be having one of those guys, even though you might not ever see them on the field, the benefit to the team in practice and all the other things that go into being success might just weigh into it. It's going to be a tough one for him, but, he met the challenge last year and got himself on the field and got a little dinged up and was invited back. So there's certainly some worth there.
Now, let me ask you this, now that we're talking about Joe Reiniger. I'm planning on pitching the idea of going to dinner at a sushi place tonight. How do you think that's going to go over with our house, knowing that seemingly everyone there eats like a child? Are they going to be like... Is that raw fish? This dinner sucks.
This dinner sucks. I know that Minix is down with sushi because his lovely daughter had brought him around to some of the finer cuisines in the world. So I know that he will eat it.
But he's very particular about foods.
He is, but sushi he will do. I'm comfortable with that because he's also a guy who gets pedicures.
Okay,
and if you get a pedicure, I think you have to eat sushi.
Okay,
I think that's in the rule. you'll let somebody, primarily Asian, mess with your toes, that you have to eat sushi.
Okay.
It's like a balance thing. So I think he's good. Now, Joe has never had any other living human touch his feet. I don't know. I know that the new Joe is different from the old Joe. He might do that, but we'll get into it in a second. We'd like to welcome on number 42 in your playbook, number 1 in your heart. His name is Deuce Vaughn, running back for the Dallas Cowboys, Kansas State Wildcat on top of that. Welcome on the show. It's good to have you on. I'll turn you on. There you are.
No doubt. I appreciate you having me.
All right. We were just talking about your role on this team and how I'm curious what they're asking of you this training camp and if it's different than last year, because I'm hearing Coach McCarthy talk about Royce Freeman and how he is he's so good in pass protection and he's so versatile on special teams. And then he's saying, yeah, and we're going to carry a fullback. And when you start doing the math in the running back room, it's if you're reading the tea leaves, it sounds like, man, maybe Deuce could end up being the odd man out. But then they're saying Deuce is going to work with the wide receivers. Maybe there's some options for him to get some time there. And then everybody's looking at this new kickoff. And I'm sure you guys looked at it last night to see what it looked like.
No doubt.
And everyone's trying to figure out who's the right kind of guy to do that job. Is it, do you feel that in this training camp that like, hey, I don't have a defined role. I'm trying to show them I can do a lot of different things to make my role valuable to them?
Yeah. Well, one of the biggest things for myself coming in, even into the league, was the versatility aspect of being able to play the running back position, catching the ball in the backfield, doing things like working out with the receivers on a day-to-day basis and things like this, giving myself, like you said, more of a bigger versatile role. And, of course, the kickoff, watching it last night was pretty exciting. And Bones does a really good job with this during practice of going through that and getting us ready for his first preseason game. But for myself, man, no matter where they put me, whether that be in the backfield and out at the wide receiver position, I'm going to take every opportunity I can to run with it and show them what I can do. So for myself, it's just taking it day to day and just keeping on working and do what I can do to show these coaches that I can do both things.
He is fighting for a job right now as we look into the first week of practice. From your rookie year to this year, what's the difference? What are you feeling? Is it more comfort level? Certainly, you were one of the guys that knows the offense because you were there from the beginning of this new process. So that comfort level, what has that meant for you on the field? Is it easier, quicker?
It's definitely been huge. This past year, as a rookie coming in and having to learn an entirely new system, all while trying to play fast and connect with your teammates. There's a lot of stuff on your plate. I feel like this past year, having a full offseason under my belt, getting to know these guys even more, in this locker room, getting to dive into that playbook a little bit more, getting to meet with coaches, just helps you be more comfortable on the football field, play faster. And I'm super excited for the weeks upcoming. Been really blessed and grateful for this first week that we've been on this field. And, man, just keep stacking days is the biggest thing for myself. But I felt much more comfortable than I did this past year as a rookie.
You know, you showed up in the Cowboys running back room in an interesting time in its history because you got there right after Zeke left. So last year, the top dog in the running back room was Pollard. He's gone. Now Zeke's back.
Yes, sir.
What's the difference between those two guys leading that room? Like, do you feel a difference in their leadership styles?
Yeah, for sure. Man, TP, that's like my big brother, man. Coming in as a rookie, he was a guy that I watched growing up. So it was one of those things where it was like I was super stoked to be with him. A versatile guy that can catch the ball in the backfield, guy that can go out there and run between the tackles as well. They do have two different leadership styles. TP's more reserved, but when it comes to talking ball, man, you can sit there and talk ball with him all day. He's gonna give you points and stuff on the field and in the meeting room, man. He's gonna hype you up. He's gonna do all types of things for you. And then Zeke is, he's a character, man. When I say he's like a little ball, he's like a ball of energy for real. He keeps the room lively, but the same type of characteristics that TP has. He's gonna coach you up. He's going to let you know some of the things that he's experienced over his time, both in the meeting room and on the field. So, both those guys have been really big for myself, and my learning curve has been really quick and it's been faster just because having those two guys ahead of me with all the experience that they have and all the ball they've played. But, man, I love both of them to death.
Talk about working coach. You've done a lot of different stuff, and as you've come into camp, you're working with the receivers and doing stuff. What's the mentality like going from one room to another, one play call list to another? Do you attack it like a running back, or do you have to start thinking like a wide receiver?
You most definitely have to start thinking like a wide receiver. Did a little bit of it in college, so it's not completely new, but just diving into that playbook, I'm fortunate to be able to have jumped into it this past spring, doing a little bit of stuff in OTA, so I can kind of get that base foundation and then kind of learn throughout the summer and then come in and try to hit the ground running. But learning from RP has been huge. Fantastic coach. I mean, techniques, all types of different things that can help my game when it comes to that, because I feel like I was pretty raw. In college, was kind of, hey, we're going to throw you out here and go.
But your numbers were good, man. You caught balls.
100%. Yeah. That's what was really exciting for myself, is now getting the techniques, getting all the little intricacies of being a wide receiver, because in college it was go out there and go win. And so now getting to learn the middle of the field open, this is how you want to run your route, versus, man, you want to run your route like this. If there's middle field's closed, run your route like this. Just the little things to help you get open and be able to learn from a guy like Brandon Cooks, be able to learn like from Jalen Tolbert. Being able to learn from guys in that room that played ball for a really long time, man, it's been huge.
Now, you were a 1,500-yard rusher, 350-yard receiving back your last year at college, the only one in the whole country. We know your hands are good. We know you can catch the ball. When you see the difference between catching the ball out of the backfield where you've got some space before there's any contact on you versus lining up from 3 feet away from a dude who's going to be smacking you off the line. And a lot of people, your size coming into the league was questioned, like the physical, how physical can you be? Is it more noticeable when you're getting jammed up at the line? Is it hard to get breaks? Like, what are you feeling when you're getting that early contact, and how's that affecting your route running?
I feel like one of the biggest things for that aspect of it is learning from Kavontae Turpin, one of the guys that is playing the slot receiver, and he knows how physical it gets down whenever you get to on the nickel. Using your quickness to your ability, being able to lean into somebody to break away, man. You know where you're going, he doesn't. So using your quickness in that regard has been the biggest thing. So I feel like getting hands off of you, using your hands, doing stuff like that is a lot of things I've learned from Terp throughout that time. So going to kind of take that physical out. Of course, you're going to have to be physical at the top of your break. That's 100% going to have to be there. But you can kind of get yourself into a position to the point where you can put yourself in an advantageous position with some of that. So just learning that from Terp, and then going out there and trying to replicate it has been huge. But 100%, that's always going to be something that you have to deal with, especially playing in that slot position with nickels and when you get linebackers and stuff out there.
Talking like a wide receiver.
I'm telling you.
You sound like one, man. You sound like a football player on top of that. We are talking with a football player, Deuce Vaughn, working for a job with the Dallas Cowboys. I want to take advantage of my time with you and talk about something completely off the top from the Cowboys. I want to talk to you about Colin Klein.
Yes, sir.
I'm Aggie, and he's moved to College Station, going to run the offense. What can I expect from him from what you know of?
100%, man. Coach Klein, every single day that he was our OC, man, talk about I felt myself as a football player get better just because that's how much he loves the game, how much he pours into it. But it's also how much of a player's coach that he is. I'll never forget whenever he first kind of got the job and we were kind of talking. He's like, man, come upstairs. Come sit down with me. Watch me put in the game plan. Help me put in the game plan. What makes you feel comfortable? What plays do you like against these fronts? What plays do you like against this shell? He's like, I want you guys to be comfortable when you're playing. I want you guys to go out there and play fast. I want you guys to go out there and be able to do what you do to the best of your ability. And that was huge because it was like, man, this guy not only believes in me to come in here and watch film of my own and come in, it was open to almost the entire offense.
And your offense was explosive. So Aggie fans can look at the ball going downfield. And if it's a choice between the safe 10-yard out or let's look downfield, what's Klein's lean? I'm really curious.
100%. That's the thing. He will give us the ability to go out there and play football. If you think the play's there to make and you trust your guy, let it go. If you think that taking this 10-yard out is going to be the best for us in our offense, give us a first down, take it. There's no hindrance on players when it comes to playing the game of football. He wants you to go out there and play free. He wants you to go out there and play to the best of your ability and not have to think a whole bunch. And I feel like for him, I'm super excited for him, first and foremost.
Hey, you're making me excited just hearing
it. I should be excited, man. Now, my 3 years there with Coach Klein when he was quarterback coach and then became the OC, was ready to go and play football every single Saturday. That's just a testament to
yes, sir.
He is.
Good news.
Deuce Vaughn, join us on the Morning Huddle. One thing before we let you go here, Deuce, I'm going to give you an observation, and you tell me if I'm wrong. I'd love to hear it. It feels like the atmosphere at camp is a little tight, and there's a lot of like moving pieces this year. There's a lot of talk about Dak's deal. There's CD's not even here. There's a lot of people talking about Mike McCarthy not having a contract extension. Does it feel like there's more pressure this season than there was a year ago? Does it feel like people are starting to be like, okay, you guys have the tools to do this. When's it going to happen? Do you feel that pressure as a player?
Not necessarily. I feel like for ourselves, especially when we come out here to Oxnard, this is our bubble. You know, this is our team. We're inside this camp, inside this compound. All we're worried about is putting our best product on the football field every single day. We understand that this year our goal is to go and win a championship. It is that every single year. The foundation that we're laying right now with these first few practices in pads, and then going forward, these meeting times, we have to take every single second that we have and just keep getting better. So when it's time to go play these preseason games, when it's time to get into week one, man, we're playing our best football. And then everything else will take care of us. We can control as a football team, as players, as coaches, and that's coming out here and putting the best product on the football field.
That is Deuce Vaughn, a running back / wide receiver / kickoff returner. He is the do-it-all jack of all trades here for the Dallas Cowboys. Best of luck with the rest of camp. Best of luck on making this roster, having an impact, and looking forward to seeing what you can do out there, man. Good luck.
Appreciate y'all, man.
That is Deuce Vaughn. Appreciate
you
it.
stopping by. Let's go ahead and go to break.
Yep. All right. We'll be back. We'll wrap up our last hour from Oxnard coming up next. The Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and the Gomez Law Firm present the first annual back-to-school drive this Saturday from noon till 2 p.m. while supplies last at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Free backpacks and school supplies for all school-age children, only while supplies last, so don't be late. This Saturday from noon to 2 p.m. at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Presented by the Gomez Law Firm and in part by ProStar Home Care Services, Sonora Bank, Las Palapas, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Bourbon and Brews is heading south for the summer, but don't worry. We're now introducing Twin Peaks Tequila and Cervezas. It's a fiesta every Friday at Twin Peaks with samples of our favorite tequilas and cervezas all summer long. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
Testosterone levels in men can start to decrease as early as 30 years old, and long-term health risks can be extremely damaging to your body. Rock's Discount Vitamins carries a variety of natural testosterone boosters that can immediately provide you with more energy, increased libido, increased metabolism, and improve your mood. Rock's Discount Vitamins natural testosterone boosters can even help you build muscle and lose weight faster. With 11 San Antonio locations, visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. Thanking God and South Texas for all the support.
It's Jason and Joe from the Blitz. Join us at Circa Las Vegas in August for the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest Weekend.
The Blitz will be live at Circa August 22nd and 23rd, and then we're staying for the weekend. Come to Vegas with us for the Ultimate Contest Weekend.
Circa Survivor and Circa Million are back. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
So join the Blitz at Circa Las Vegas. More details and discounted rooms available online at sasportstar.com.
This is the famous footwear that makes us actually want to go back to school. With the newest styles from all your favorite brands like Nike, Adidas, Crocs, Converse, New Balance, Birkenstock, and more. You'll find everything kids want, all at prices parents can appreciate. Because you don't have to overspend to make it famous. Famous Footwear even has fit experts in store to make sure you get the right size every time. So for the perfect fit, make it famous. Plus, right now, buy one, get one half off when you shop your local Famous Footwear or famous.com. Some exclusions apply.
DQ presents... Picture this. Picture the DQ $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Not just a cheeseburger, a bacon cheeseburger, plus fries, drink, and a sundae, all full-sized, all for $7. Because everything's better with bacon. Everything's also better with a side of fries, a refreshing drink, and a sundae to finish. Yum. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Now for a limited time on the $7 meal deal lineup. DQ. Happy tastes good.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. IRS is heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. They'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagel for my friends at Stevens Roofing, your local roofer. You know, summer is here, and that means long, hot days for everyone and everything, including your roof. Our hot Texas sun pounding down can degrade and age your roof. So for residential or commercial service, you need a reliable roofer you can trust and afford. That's Stevens Roofing. Online at stevensroofing.net or call them at 210-785-0994. That's 210-785-0994 for Stevens Roofing.
Visit Team Express Superstore on East Nakoma today. 80% off on all apparel and footwear. BOGO, buy one, get one 50% off, plus 70% off of all football and baseball equipment and everything else. Team Express Superstore on East Nakoma.
How about them Cowboys? What will the Cowboys defense look like under new defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer? San Antonio sports star relocates to California's Golden Coast to find out.
You asked for it, you got it.
Coverage of the Cowboys' week-long training camp in Oxnard is brought to you by AA Best Bell Buns and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Continues all this week. South Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio sports star. San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio Sports Center.
In the wake of the Sam Williams injury, the Dallas Cowboys are signing free agent defensive ends Al-Qadim Muhammad, formerly of the Saints, Bears, and Colts, and former Commanders defensive end Shaka Toney, former teammate of Micah Parsons at Penn State. NFL preseason kicked off last night with the Hall of Fame game. Texans fell to the Bears 21-17. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hour number 4 of the Morning Huddle right here on San Antonio Sports Star, live from Oxnard, California. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, which, by the way, look, I found the picture of the chicken people.
That's about what I expected.
Yeah.
That's right there. In fact, I picked them exactly. I would have picked them out of a lineup.
Well, I knew for a fact it was going to be white people.
I was pretty sure of that
because only white people don't season their chicken.
Exactly. So there would be there would never that kind of argument wouldn't have been any other ethnicity's kitchen.
I've got some other non-sports news that I wanted to hit you guys with. A Texas Christian radio host. And I say that in quotes.
Not at Texas Christian, a Christian radio host in Texas.
Yes. Okay. Deborah May Carter is the mistress of Doc Gallagher, who's serving 3 life sentences after being convicted of masterminding a Ponzi scheme. He was a former Christian radio host who.
Is this the Churchland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had big plans to retire and live with her man
with her Ponzi scheme money
on a ranch, and now she's getting life in prison instead. She does get a free. She doesn't have to worry about money. We know that
it's an all-inclusive place.
It is.
It's all
everything's taken care of. was accused of marshaling the will of God for his benefit. And
he's been accused of marshaling the will of God for his benefit.
Of course, this is, I swear up in no shocker. Where is every one of these grifting?
It's in
pastors.
Dallas,
It's all Dallas. This one too. Here's his book. Can you guess what his book is called? Jesus Christ, Money Master.
Money Master. Yes.
You know, I remember Jesus talking about money in the Bible all the time and how
Thou
to master
shalt
it.
offer thy 10% return.
But yeah, he cost people quite a bit of money. They seized about $200,000 in gold and silver from her travel trailer. They had rental homes, land, and fake charities. They had received up to $29.2 million with this scheme.
And a lot of money in it.
Good for him.
A lot of money in that.
Good for him until, you catch those 30 years.
The problem is you got to work on Sundays.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You don't get the day off.
Other than that.
They talk about Gallagher's main role was to bring in the money. Carter's role was to make sure it was not recovered by the victims. They ultimately planned to retire to a huge ranch together. I don't even think they're going to be in the same prison now, unfortunately for them. It's too bad.
Not too many of the co-ed.
Finally, an 18-year-old Georgia man has been in jail for 2 months, and he has now picked up a new battery charge while in jail.
He picked up a new charge.
Yeah. He's been in jail after his own father and sister told authorities of the sexual assaults that he committed. The sexual assaults he committed are against a donkey and the family Great Dane.
The family Great Dane? He raped the dog?
Your own dog?
You raped your dog.
Someone else's dog, maybe, but your own?
This is Georgia?
Georgia.
Is the dog getting appropriate treatment?
I think, is it getting counseling?
Counseling and all that's gone on.
I would hope. What about the donkey? No one thinks about the donkey.
Poor donkey.
You could use that donkey. You should adopt it and to protect your chickens.
Bring it to Texas and let it live a decent life after the terrible turmoil it's gone through in its young donkey years.
Jason Weir, although who knows, can a donkey with emotional trauma like that really protect chickens?
I don't think so. The damage is probably not repairable.
Yeah, that donkey's probably going to end up being a porn star or a stripper.
Yeah. Daddy issues.
He's never going to be the same.
Doing donkey porn.
Jason Weir was hit with a new misdemeanor battery charge
in prison.
While he was in prison, because he followed another inmate into a jail cell and assaulted him after that prisoner made donkey sounds. Apparently he didn't like it.
Was he turned on?
I'm not.
Was this anger or the heat of passion?
Unless this is how you punch a donkey. I don't know. I'm not sure how that works.
It was a very good donkey call.
I don't know how donkey punching works, but I don't think that's how it should work.
I think this guy might need to have a couple of things removed.
It seems like maybe
I think you're thinking with the wrong part of your body. So let's just take that part off.
Candidate for chemical castration.
You're sticking it in the wrong things.
The report said the inmate didn't fight back, as the enraged bestiality suspect allegedly escalated the verbal altercation to a criminal battery offense. When Weir was arrested in May, his own family members said that he was caught with his pants down in the yard outside their home, attempting to have sex with their male Great Dane, somewhat ironically named Freedom. He's 18, and now he should know better now. That's what his family said.
Now. No better.
Yeah, when he was a kid,
we excused it.
All right,
that's just kiddie behavior.
The boy's just 16. He doesn't know any better.
Get off his back.
The family members, including the defendant's sister, reportedly became suspicious when Weir started taking the Great Danes on walks, but didn't come back to the house right away.
God.
Weir, for his part, allegedly tried to explain his pants being down by blaming the dog for knocking him over while he was going to the bathroom. In Georgia, bestiality is a felony, punishable by at least a year and up to 5 years behind bars upon conviction.
Is he not allowed within 500 feet of like a kennel?
I don't think he should be allowed to.
Does he have to register with all the local ASPCAs wherever he moves?
Yeah, I don't think he should be allowed to own a dog. I think
that's a pretty foregone conclusion. No, you can't have a dog
or a donkey.
Well, maybe we should allow him a donkey. I'm kidding. My God,
poor donkey.
That is the worst story you will bring up this week.
Well, it is Friday.
That guy needs to. Whatever happens to him, it won't be enough. I'll just leave it at that.
It is Friday. So yeah.
Whatever happens to someone like that.
I think you're right. Remember we were talking about the Greenbrier as like
it's a
maybe
lovely place, yes.
One of the elite places to be for training camps.
The Greenbrier is in West Virginia. It is a resort built by some mogul tycoon back in the 1920s that also plays host to if the United States were to be bombed nuclearly, the entire government would be housed underneath the Greenbrier.
Well, the Greenbrier Hotel has been scheduled for a public auction to the highest bidder on August 27th.
Because it's got a hell of a finished basement.
I think you get all of it. The guy who owns it currently is Governor Jim Justice. Not related to Freedom the dog, as far as I know, but freedom and justice do often go hand in hand. But the advertisement reports that there's been a default under the terms and conditions of a deed of trust that took effect in 2014, and it listed Justice as the borrower of a $142 million promissory note dated in 2014. Cash in hand is to be paid on the day of sale, and now it is going to be foreclosed on. The 60.5-acre property is a key asset for the Justice family, whose financial woes have added up amid the governor's run for a U.S. Senate seat on the Republican ticket. In June, the family announced a settlement of a dispute in which the bank had sought $300 million plus in debt from the Justices. Both sides cited a pathway of curtailment in a planned payoff of the debt. And now they've also got $400,000 in delinquent taxes, and are basically having to sell all their assets, this being kind of the crown jewel of them. But
will they take a post-dated check?
I don't think so.
It seems like they're a little cash strapped.
I think they're going to run
a little fluid.
They're going to run it through that machine to see if the check's any good. For this.
They're going to scan that thing.
I think we got to stop taking checks from this guy. Quite honestly, he bought the Greenbrier on a bounce check.
We had never seen one before. We didn't know what that meant.
Well, West Virginia, we know they're a little behind the times. I didn't know they were that
They're
far
still
behind
taking
the
checks.
times. Yeah,
the Justice family and the Greenbrier. Couldn't happen to a nicer group of people.
No.
We'll just leave it at that.
I like to think that when he bought the Greenbrier, it was like they took a napkin and wrote, "Promise to pay you," and then he just drew an X and handed it to him, and they shook hands, and that was it. $400 million.
This guy is blaming his campaign for governor for the financial woes.
Yeah, that's what it is.
There it is.
I'm sure it wasn't anything else. But yeah, he's. I don't know what this is going to fetch.
Do you think we'll get a discounted rate? If I went on to like booking.com, do you think I'd get like
booking? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think I'd get like a better rate on one of the rooms?
Look at this place.
It's a fantastic place.
It is a good looking place. It's got a hell of a golf course. It's good views, good weather. Apparently, it is in West Virginia.
One small drawback, but they got electricity now, I hear. So it used to be worse.
But the staff, the staff, when you house them, you don't have to buy oral hygiene products.
No, they don't need
that's a benefit to ownership.
Yeah, and all the prescription meds you need in room service.
Oh, yes. Without a prescription.
Yeah, it's West Virginia.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to basically wrap up Cowboys training camp before we hit the daily lines at 9:30. And see what our takeaways are from our week out here in California.
Yes, sir.
It is the Morning Huddle right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, it is Friday here in Oxnard. Another day of Cowboys Training Camp.
Back to a full practice today. We will have a player on the show. That is still TBD. We get to talk about, well, bad preseason football, but it was football last night.
Yay.
How did the Houston Texans look?
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Has a loved one died and left you an old car to sell? GiveMeTheVin.com has just launched the new service, GMTVCC.com. Write this down, GMTVCC.com, which is Give Me the VIN classic and collector car buying service. GMTVCC.com will hook you up with GMTVCC Pro buyers that will appraise and offer on that 69 Chevelle, old Corvette, old truck, and especially Restomods. We love Restomods at GMTVCC.com. Don't mess with consignments or auctions. Get paid today on your classic or collector car at GMTVCC.com.
The granddaddy of all hunting shows is back. The 2024 Hunters Extravaganza. August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Fun for the whole family. Check out our hunting seminars, the latest in hunting equipment, last season's best bucks in our annual deer contest, and for the little hunters, games, live alligators, snakes, and more. August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. For details and tickets, go to huntersextravaganza.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
El Guacamole Mexican Grill on 25020 Blanco Road is now ready to serve up the cold drinks with your favorite Mexican dish. Come celebrate the grand opening of their bar this August 15th and get a free margarita only at El Guacamole Mexican Grill, 25020 Blanco Road.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
If you miss The Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
What Bill Taylor is up with all this rain?
I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
I thought you were him.
No, not today.
Okay. He's like hero today because we're getting all this rain.
He's got that old weather thing going on.
What does that mean?
Well, we used to tease Bill every time weather like this. And, of course, he's going to be the featured dude on all the newscasts.
Yeah.
He's a little weather woody.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime.
It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. My name is AJ Hoffman. His name is Rob Thompson. We are Marshall.
We are what?
You're turning my mic off.
I didn't want you to talk. What? We are what?
We are the Morning Huddle.
We are Marshall.
No,
you said?
No, that's the movie. We are the Morning Huddle.
Oh, we're Morning Huddle.
That's right. And we are at Cowboys Training Camp, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Thanks to them for getting us out here for this trip and making sure that we're well taken care of, well fed, and
protected in case of emergency.
That's right, Bubba. I wanted to use this time, as we know, we're in the last segment, we're going to look at the daily lines and see where we're going to invest our money today. We like to be like the Jim Cramer of sports radio.
Kinda.
And try and see how are we going to invest? Buy, sell. But I wanted to use this segment to kind of get your overarching thoughts. We've been out here for a week now. How has your outlook changed, or has it changed since we got out here on what the Cowboys can be this season?
And the outlook is still the same. I still think this is a Super Bowl capable team. For anybody who thought there would be a next chapter to this Mike McCarthy thing, I think is wrong. I get the sense this is done. I get the sense that Dak is
it's done if it's not a Super Bowl team.
Yeah, for sure. And the likelihood of a Super Bowl is, as it has been every year. It's not going to be easy, and it's going to be difficult, and all things have to fall into place. But there's going to have to be. I'm going to be real. I think this team's going to collapse this year. I don't see anything here that tells me that they are going to band together for one last explosive mission and go out with a bang. It just seems like I hear Dak, and with every statement of confidence with the Cowboys and how much he's happy to be here, he also follows it with, and I might be moving on. With McCarthy, it is evident yesterday face-to-face that the pressure to go and get it done is the only thing that is out there. There's nothing about improvement. There's nothing about get this and do this, and if we do this, we might. No, there is one thing to do, and that is get to an NFC championship game. And even that might not be enough, depending on how they get there.
I will say it feels to me, and I'm with you. I'm more of I think I lean more towards collapse than Super Bowl.
Sense, right?
And here's why. And I brought this up to Clarence last night in our at steak night in our off-air radio show that we were all doing. I said I look at teams like the 49ers, and I think they were better than the Cowboys a year ago. They haven't lost significant pieces to their squad. And the Cowboys, who were already chasing them, are less talented.
Lost coaches
than they were a year ago.
Defense, yes, they are less talented.
Offensive line. Mm-hmm. They are a less talented team than they were a year ago. And the kings of the castle haven't changed. We saw San Francisco play Dallas last year. Did that game make you feel like Dallas is real close to the Niners?
No, no. And the Cowboys and the Niners are separate teams on separate courses right now. There's an entirely different arrow.
But they've got the same goal.
I agree, but
the same expectations. Realistically,
they've got a young quarterback who is going to make a whole bunch of money that they're going to pay. The Cowboys have an older quarterback that's going to make a whole bunch of money, but you don't think they're going to pay. They got a Kyle Shanahan that ain't going nowhere. The Cowboys got a quarterback or got an owner who better not better keep aware of the housing rates if he's going to be selling. I mean, there is a huge difference in these two organizations. Now, I will say that I don't think the Cowboys are that far away from the 49ers. I don't. I think that the 49ers have run under a little bit of luck over the last couple of years, and eventually that kind of luck will run out. And so I think the Cowboys feel like if they're at least in the room, they've got enough pieces and parts, if given a one-game opportunity, that they can beat them. And I think when you do that and you start hoping, well, if this goes right and that goes right and this goes right and all the other things go right, we're going to win a Super Bowl. The more things you have to have go right, the more likely it is it's not going to happen. And the Cowboys have too many things that they have to have that they have to thread the needle on. They're going to have to thread the needle on running back. They're going to have to thread the needle on their wide receiver core. They're going to have to thread the needle with these young offensive linemen. They're going to have to thread the needle with a new defensive coordinator. Some of those things are going to go very, very well. They are. Some of these things are going to work. But the problem is the things that don't work are the reasons you lose playoff games. And they haven't fixed that.
See, I'm not sure that I feel like the Niners aren't significantly better than the Cowboys. I think back to that game last season. The final was 42-10. And that was in a game where Christian McCaffrey had like his lowest output of the season.
By the end of the season, I think the teams are a little bit different. But, yeah, there's nothing to say that they can beat the 49ers. They haven't been in 3 years. But I still don't think that the plan is to beat the 49ers. The plan has to be in the room with the 49ers and hope something happens to them. You know, you can't – there's nothing else you can do. We're not going to overpower them. We're not going to out-talent them. But you just got to be close and hope some good favor falls your way where it hadn't in the past.
I guess to me, the Niners are on a separate plane than everybody else in the NFC.
Yeah.
The question, I guess, then is, are the Cowboys better now than the Lions, the Eagles, the Packers, the Vikings, the Falcons, where do they rank in the pecking order for the non-49ers class?
They're in the second tier, but they're at the bottom of the second tier.
So they're behind the Eagles, behind the Lions, behind the Packers?
But in the same strata, yeah.
Okay. I accept that.
Yeah. The Lions are, in my mind, the second team in the NFC and have every opportunity. I think we got to put Green Bay up there too, obviously, as they took down the Cowboys. But I think those four teams at the end of the season are all eyeing the hope of let's just be in the room and hope something has happened in San Francisco. Injury, upset, whatever it might be. Let's hope that we don't have to deal with them. And if we don't, then we have a shot. And I think all the teams in the NFC have to feel that way, as the entire NFL has to look at Kansas City. We aim at the Super Bowl. We hope something weird happens to them so we get a shot, but at least we got to be in the room to beat them.
Yeah. And I did not mention the LA Rams when I was talking about, and they should have been mentioned too.
And I think they're in the room too.
Yeah. So, it seems like a traffic jam behind the 49ers. But you're right. If you get to, and you know what? The Lions almost did that. They were at halftime. It looked like they had done it. Like, oh, wow, we caught the 49ers on a bad day. We're going to the Super Bowl. But then they actually caught the 49ers on a bad half of a day.
But meanwhile, back in the real world, I genuinely expect when we come back next year that the state of the Cowboys address from Jerry will be addressing the new coach, the absence of a quarterback, the distressing part about how do you pay Micah and why do you pay Micah all of this money when now you have to rebuild a football team. And you hope the decision is we're going to rebuild around Micah, but the decision might be, look, I'm not going to pay a defensive guy $45 million a year on a team that can't score 21 points because we don't got a quarterback. You know, I mean, I think that this is the end of a chapter. It just feels like we are turning the page on McCarthy and on Dak and everything that has been for the last 8 years. And this is that last run down the gauntlet. But next year, everything's going to be different.
I generally feel the same way. And that was part of our off-air talk show last night as well. Clarence seems to believe that Dak is going to be a Cowboy long term. And I think you and I might be in the minority that don't, because I think Jason and Joe believe the same thing.
I think so.
I've been saying for a while now, like, what incentive is there for Dak? Dak is going to get his money no matter what. Right. Dak feels like he's been disrespected, and if the line is if you don't get to the Super Bowl, you're not going to be our guy. I don't think Dak's getting to the Super Bowl.
No.
So it's that's the thing. that's the thing that kind of it bothers me about the way the NFL is right now. But I've also accepted that it's the reality, and I don't know that Jerry has. You don't have to be a Super Bowl caliber quarterback to get paid like a Super Bowl caliber quarterback.
Or you just got to be a starting quarterback.
You got to be. You've got to be a above average quarterback, and you get paid like you are a Super Bowl winner. And it doesn't make sense to Jerry. It still doesn't really make sense to me. It's just like I said, I've accepted that that's the reality of the quarterback market now.
The economics of football don't make any sense.
And it's not changing anytime soon. It's like I think that we've seen some I think the Deshaun Watson contract was an outlier. I don't think we'll ever see anything like that again. But the Trevor Lawrence contract isn't an outlier. Jordan Love's contract is not an outlier. These are guys who have accomplished very, very little in the NFL so far. And it doesn't matter because they don't suck. And if you've got a quarterback who doesn't suck, you have to pay him like he's Patrick Mahomes. And right now, you have to pay him more than Patrick Mahomes. And I understand for a guy like Jerry, who's an old school football guy, that is a tough pill to swallow.
Considering he's an old school football guy and has made his bones on the premise that he is willing to spend the money and do the things to win because he owns the team and that's all he does. When in fact, he doesn't spend a lot of money, both on his players. He spends the max he can. On the other stuff, he spends the money that promotes the business. But really, it's not an investment into the growth of the franchise and team. If that was the case, he'd have paid Dak. He'd have paid, all the things that we've been talking about. I get the sense that Dak understands that, all this is flash. But at the end of the day, I'm always going to be fighting with you over money, and I'm going to leave. I'm going to go someplace where he's appreciated here. He won't be appreciated anymore anyplace else, but I think he'll go with an owner that will go, you know what? You're my guy. You're my guy. I am never going to question you. And whenever you come to me, you're going to get exactly what you want. And every time Dak has gone to Jerry, when it came to money, it was wait, push, no, this, late, until you absolutely had to pay me. And then you paid me. I'm not going to deal with that anymore because he's still got another contract after this one. And it certainly won't be with Jerry twice.
You say that. You say he won't be appreciated, or he'll be appreciated here as much as anywhere else. I don't know if that's true.
To be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys is a unique experience that is not like any place else. And whether you go to,
but it comes with added pressure also.
Oh, absolutely.
But if he played for the Raiders and he
win 9 games, he would be a superstar.
King.
Yes. And so the expectations are lower. You get the same kind of money, and I get the same kind of love without all the negatives of being a Cowboy quarterback. And what did you do for me today and lately, instead of all the other stuff of you showed up and you saved us.
Dude, Matt Stafford, he played for a lot of 6-10 Lions teams and was treated like a god because he was better than what they'd had. And sometimes that's all it takes, man, to be better than what they've had before.
No matter where he goes, it'll be to somebody that is willing to pay for that privilege.
No
doubt. Right now, tired of fighting with a guy like that. Not to say that a deal won't get done, but I can tell you this: if it gets done, it's because Dak blinked, not Jerry.
Justin Herbert, another good example. Justin Herbert has won 0 playoff games. A lot of hype on the guy. Mm-hmm. But you think Justin Herbert walks around L.A. with people saying, when is this dude going to win a Super Bowl?
Exactly.
Give me a no. They're like, dude, thank God we've got Justin Herbert. Otherwise, this 7-10 team would be 4-13. It's like there's something that comes with being the Cowboys quarterback. There's positives to it, certainly. If you win as the Cowboys quarterback, I mean, you're treated in a way that I think you'll have a legacy in a way that you won't have anywhere else. But if you are not winning at the highest level, 10-7 here is a failure, it feels like.
Yes. And
even when it shouldn't be. 10-7 with this roster should be lauded. It won't be.
I think as we sit, what would Dak have to do to get into the Hall of Fame? What is he? Because I'm sure those are some of the questions that are going through his mind as he's making these decisions. I mean, now it's about legacy. He's got the numbers to kind of get him in the conversation, but you can't even start to be a Hall of Fame quarterback without a Super Bowl win. And if you look around,
really, you need two.
Really, you're going to need two. Now, one win with the Cowboys puts you a gold jacket on you. It probably one, but you save a franchise that'll put you in there too. And I think as a guy like Dak, who's looking at this contract as a legacy contract, the legacy to him in the league are starting to come into play.
Let me ask you about a guy, and you tell me if he's a Hall of Famer. And this will answer the question if Dak can be a Hall of Famer without a ring. Is Phillip Rivers going to be a Hall of Famer?
No.
Then right now Dak is not close.
Exactly. No. Dak's not a Hall of Fame guy. No, not at all. But he's within reach if he does a couple of things, just like Rivers would have been if he'd have gotten him a Super Bowl.
Dak is very Phillip Rivers-y.
Very much.
And that's, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But Phillip Rivers had a hell of a career for a long time, and I think he was very good and probably underrated. But he also played in an era where there were Titans, and guys like Peyton and Brady weren't giving up those rings easy.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's what Dak's looking at right now. And
what an apt comparison, because, Dak's in the Mahomes era. He's just dealing with something that Rivers couldn't overcome the Brady era. And
the difference, though, is Rivers played in the same conference with Brady and Manning. Dak doesn't even play in the same conference as most of these elite AFC quarterbacks. He should be at least showing up at the dance and losing to those guys.
And he can justify it with yards. I mean, I did all I could. I mean, that's
true.
I cut the interceptions. I did what I was supposed to do. I just didn't have enough. And that's one of those reasons you go, maybe I should look someplace else.
Justin Herbert's, I think through 3 years, leads every statistical quarterback category. And if you ain't winning, it don't really matter.
So I think the page is going to be turning as we exit the camp and see what happens next year.
All right, let's hit our last break. We'll come back. We'll take a look at the daily lines. It is the Morning Huddle from Oxnard on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and the Gomez Law Firm present the first annual back-to-school drive this Saturday from noon till 2 p.m. while supplies last at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Free backpacks and school supplies for all school-aged children, only while supplies last, so don't be late. This Saturday from noon to 2 p.m. at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Presented by the Gomez Law Firm and in part by ProStar Home Care Services, Sonora Bank, Las Palapas, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
3 bands, 1 stadium. Journey, Def Leppard, the Steve Miller Band, 3 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame icons. Their biggest hits Friday, August 16th, Alamo Dome. Tickets on sale now at DefLeppardJourney2024.com.
This is the famous footwear that makes us actually want to go back to school. With the newest styles from all your favorite brands like Nike, Adidas, Crocs, Converse, New Balance, Birkenstock, and more. You'll find everything kids want, all at prices parents can appreciate. Because you don't have to overspend to make it famous. Famous Footwear even has fit experts in store to make sure you get the right size every time. So for the perfect fit, make it famous. Plus, right now, buy one, get one half off when you shop your local Famous Footwear or famous.com. Some exclusions apply.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppable, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422. 800-714
714-8422.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
George gets justice. At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our motto is simple. George gets justice. But what does that mean for you? It means you get an award-winning team of attorneys who will fight for everything taken from you so that you can get back to what matters in life. When we say George gets justice, it's just not a motto. It's a commitment to you. Call us at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagle for my friends at Stevens Roofing, your local roofer. You know, summer is here, and that means long, hot days for everyone and everything, including your roof. Our hot Texas sun pounding down can degrade and age your roof. So for residential or commercial service, you need a reliable roofer you can trust and afford. That's Stevens Roofing. Online at stevensroofing.net or call them at 210-785-0994. That's 210-785-0994 for Stevens Roofing.
Will CeeDee Lamb show up for training camp or hold out for a new deal? San Antonio Sports Star is live from Cowboys Training Camp in Oxnard, California, with the answer to that question and others. Team coverage brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds continues all this week. South Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. The NFL lives right here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. The boxing, the lady boxing in the Olympics is the big discussion, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday, and it's even more hyped up now because people have figured out, and we tried. I still don't totally understand this, and that's why we talked about it the way we did yesterday. I didn't use the word transgender. I didn't use the word I didn't say she was a man competing in women's sports because apparently there is real gray area with this.
Mm-hmm.
That's beyond. I'm not a scientist, Rob. I don't know if they knew that when they hired me to do this job. I am. I'm not. Well, then why aren't you on the men's 3-on-3 team?
I'm doing radio.
You should have been on the men's 3-on-3 team if you're a real scientist.
Because I can miss jump shots like any other Barry kids, but that's a whole other problem.
But apparently, this gal was born a woman, is a woman, but somehow has a Y chromosome.
Yeah, she's preponderance. It's like 50, the preponderance of female as far as genetics. Yes.
So I have a hard time understanding because this isn't like some sort of woke thing where if you're born a man, you're a man. Like this gal was born with a lady part. She's.
But the issue isn't just that. It's the elevated part of the male that she still has, the higher testosterone, which allows muscle development, that allows her to do something. It's not a sin. It's not a crime to have that. It's just not it's fair in the broadest sense of the word for people who don't. There's a reason why they test for elevated testosterone, whether it's natural or it's been enhanced. You're going to have to ask those questions. But either way, they don't allow you to fight or do things with that kind of elevated testosterone, whether you're riding bikes or playing football or boxing. You're just not allowed.
And for this guy, like I said, they did genetic testing. They found that she does have Y chromosome, which is
a little bit of man.
Historically only found in men. Historically. Which, again, I don't know how that changed. I'm not a scientist.
It hasn't changed.
And she has testosterone levels that are those of a man.
Or at least above what a woman, an ordinary female would.
Somewhere between your typical woman and a man.
And it sucks. It sucks for her. It sucks for the whole fight. But the sad thing is she probably shouldn't have been allowed to fight. As the governing body had told her previously when she wasn't allowed. Sadly, maybe boxing was the poor choice for your genetic makeup. You might have wanted to choose something else.
Or she's going to win a gold medal.
Could be.
Which could be. And then maybe who says she's wrong? It's a big topic. Like, it's turned into a political topic, which I don't think it should be. I think this is more really about
definitions.
Yeah, and it's confusing to me, but it's confusing to everyone. I just think everybody should be careful with how they word it, and I think I pat us on the back because I think we did a good job yesterday of discussing it as it is. That's why I said instead of saying there's a man's and a woman's event, say there's a XX chromosome and an XY chromosome field, and you gotta. This is. Let's take a look at the daily line and see how we can make some money today.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Well, friends, the Olympics continue on. Men's basketball today.
Women's basketball hurt yesterday.
Yeah, they didn't do as good as
they lost to a well-executed Belgium team. My goodness, that
doesn't seem.
They beat them handily, but 22.5. Come on, ladies.
Yeah, they didn't lose. They
just didn't win appropriately.
They weren't properly afraid. They didn't have the proper fear that they needed.
They did not fear the Belgians the way they should have.
But the men get underway today. Team Canada is a 9-point favorite against Spain. Some would call them España. I like to call them Spain. My daddy called them Spain. I'm going to call them Spain. Total in that one, 169.5. Nice and a half even. Germany. How about this number? You know what? I'll let you guess the line. Germany's against France.
I wouldn't go more than 4 either way.
I expected France to be favored.
Yeah.
They are not. They are, but it is 4. Yeah. Germany minus 4 against France. I thought France would be slightly favored. So maybe
I get points in Germany?
No, you get points in France. You get points with Wemby. I think the performance against the Japanese may have scared some bettors off because I think before that game, this would have been a pick 'em at a minimum.
I think France is probably – I think they got a little afraid.
You think they have a healthy fear?
I would hope after watching what happened to him. I don't know what to expect from Germany. I'm staying away from this, but I can't wait to see Wemby play.
2 games tomorrow. Team USA, minus 34.5 against Puerto Rico. Wow. Should there be a healthy fear against Puerto Rico?
And I am not touching the men's basketball anymore.
They don't seem to be covering these big numbers.
I don't trust it, no.
The total in that game, 189.5.
But I can't imagine going on the Puerto Rico side. I can't. I'm just not going to touch it.
Now, Serbia is a 14-point favorite. They just beheaded Puerto Rico in that last matchup. They are 14-point favorites against South Sudan. And remember, if you aren't 2-0 right now, you're fighting for one of these last remaining spots. So Serbia might feel like they need to win. South Sudan, they've got a win in hand, which is a good thing. But you get 2 wins, you're basically locked in.
I don't like any of this because I don't know enough, and there's been too much erratic play.
The updated Olympic golf lines after yesterday's rain-shortened golf, which, I mean, come on, guys.
More rain?
How about you cover up, play indoors? Let's get.
I think God's mad at you for your opening ceremonies.
Let's get an indoor golf course for these Olympics. Tommy Fleetwood, Xander Schauffele, and Hideki Matsuyama are currently tied atop the lead at 11 under.
Are we playing a full 72 on this?
I think, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you play a full 72. They finished the round yesterday, finished it late. The round 1 leaders were Matsuyama and Schauffele. Tom Kim, Joaquin Neiman, and Emiliano Grillo were right behind them. But Grillo's had a bad day. He's 4 over today, so he's kind of fallen off the map. He's now 1 under for the tournament. Tommy Fleetwood, though, who finished yesterday, shot a 4 under, 67. He is currently, or he finished today at a 64, shot 7 under today. So that's what put him atop the leaderboard at 11 under.
Matsuyama consistent.
So the updated odds, if you want to wager on it, Shoffley is plus 170, Tommy Fleetwood plus 400, Matsuyama is plus 550. Same as John Rahm, also plus 550. Scotty Scheffler, and you may be saying, well, why didn't I Scotty Scheffler? Where is the world's greatest thug golfer in the standings right now? He is 5 under for the tournament. He is 1 under today, as he is through 16 holes. Not ideal. So he's six strokes off the pace, but still some decent hopes that he can rebound. At least according to the odds. He sits at 12-1. So there's your latest update on the golf. Now we go to Major League Baseball. Let's see if we can find something good here. Shota didn't have his best day yesterday, had a no decision. Cubs and Cardinals back at it. Cardinals throwing their new toy today. Eric Fetty, acquired from the Chicago White Sox at the deadline. He is a minus 112 favorite against the Cubs, and Javier Assad, a very, very short underdog. The Tigers, how about this? Tarek Skubal to the hill for the Tigers, minus 115. That's a good number for Skubal. Skubal Day. I like to bet him when I got a good price.
Same kind of holiday?
No, it's much different. Much different. I like to bet on Skubal if he's got a decent number next to him. Minus 115 today against Cole Reagans and the Royals. A good pitcher in Reagans too. Total in that game is 7. You know it's going to be tough scoring in that game. The Diamondbacks send Brandon Pfaadt to the mound against Luis Ortiz. The Diamondbacks minus 130. Frankie Montas going for the Brew Crew at the Washington Nationals. Jake Irvin pitching for the Nationals. The Brewers minus 118 favorites. The Yankees, here we go again, laying a big number, minus 162. Marcus Stroman going in pinstripes. Kevin Gausman going for the Blue Jays. Still no interest whatsoever in laying a big number with the Yankees.
None.
Good matchup in Cleveland. Carlos Carrasco going for the Guardians. Dean Kramer going for the Baltimore Orioles. That is a pick'em. The Giants don't have an announced pitcher. Andrew Abbott going for the Reds. They're minus 120. Pardon, I had a cough there. Sometimes I am even a human. Spencer Schwellenbach is an absolutely made-up person who is pitching for the Atlanta Braves today and is somehow a minus 245 favorite.
He's got some help behind him.
Spencer Schwellenbach, minus 245 against Valente Belozo and the Miami Marlins. Yeah, I don't think I can back the Marlins, but minus 245, you got to be kidding me. Cutter Crawford going for the Red Sox. They're at the Rangers today. Red Sox minus 115 favorites. Here's the big question, Rob. The Minnesota Twins are minus 300 favorites, taking on the Chicago White Sox, looking to avoid their 18th straight loss.
At some point, you got to flip over and go, I just got to bet on you because the odds are
plus 240. Is it time?
Who's on the mound for the Twins?
Joe Ryan-Eagle.
I have more trust in Ryan-Eagle.
I mean, Davis Martin pitches for the White Sox, but you're getting 2.5-1.
It's time.
They got to win someday, right?
I'm gonna be on the Sox until they win.
Oh, that's a bold strategy, Cotton.
They got 15 of my money right now.
There's a very, very special day happening in Houston. It's Kikuchi Day.
Oh, welcome.
You say Kikuchi, I say Kakachi. The Astros minus 160 favorites hosting Shane Baz and the Tampa Bay Rays. Kikuchi making his Astros debut.
So it's like the debut. I can't bet the no pass, right? Is that bad mojo? Is that bad news if I do this?
I mean, I think that's a personal thing.
I don't want to curse the young brother. I'm going to go on.
Okay. Tyler Anderson going for the Angels, hosting Paul Blackburn and the Mets. Mets minus 135. The Dodgers with Gavin Stone on the hill, minus 160 road favorites at Oakland with Joey Estes. Brian is going for Seattle against Tyler Phillips and the Phillies. Mariners minus 115 favorites. And Randy Vasquez and the Padres minus 185 favorites against Austin Gomber and the Colorado Rockies. Elsewhere this weekend, there is organized violence. MMA is going to be happening. And they're over in Saudi Arabia or the UAE, one of those places. And it's on ABC, UFC on ABC. The main event is Corey Sandhagen against Umar Nurmagomedov, unbeaten Umar Nurmagomedov. He is a minus 340 favorite against a pretty dangerous dude in Corey Sandhagen.
Okay, that felt like an easy bit. That felt easy. So you think not all over?
I don't think it's an easy bit.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's easy. I think plus 270 is a very, very live number on the dog. We got a dog in the main event last week.
We did.
It played plus 250.
AJ, we did it.
We did it. We'll be back in San Antonio on Monday. Stay tuned for the Blitz at 2. We appreciate you guys all week. Some more Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding the work with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. It's the Morning Huddle, KTFM Floresville.
With your Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales. Special Teams Coordinator John Fossil tells you about major rules changes to NFL kickoffs right after this.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savannah. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is Todd has AT&T 5G. It is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
A true Dallas Cowboys fan is there for the journey and the destination. This is the season to make your journey count by flying through McAllen International Airport, the South Texas airport of the Dallas Cowboys. Whether you're flying down for McAllen's award-winning fall and holiday festivals or you're